This is TSN.
Hi, I'm Jeff Currier. Join me for the Bottom Line in Sports from Regina, here on TSN Coast to Coast.
Live from Commonwealth Stadium, it's the BC Lions and the Edmonton Eskimos. With TSN, you're always live and interactive. You can play QB1 with this afternoon's football game. Hi, everyone. This is the CFL Live on TSN. I'm Darren Detition. We're glad you joined us for this afternoon's football game between the Edmonton Eskimos and the BC Lions. We think it's going to be outstanding. Now, there is one other game currently taking place. The Hamilton Tiger Cats at home to the Montreal Alouettes. A big battle in the East, and it is going down to the wire. The Alouettes now lead Hamilton by a score of 38-36. Terry Baker with the go-ahead field goal. Time is running out on the Tabbies as they try and pick up a win and move into a second-place tie with Montreal in the Eastern Division. Let's switch gears and go out west. But before we do that, let me introduce our panel to you. To my right, it's Marty York, columnist for the Globe and Mail. To his right, Les Brown, and longtime TSN analyst Leif Pedersen out in the wing. Les, let's start with you. You like this matchup this afternoon because of the defensive implications.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think this is going to be one heck of a defensive battle. Edmonton definitely has the advantage of defensive-wise because they have so many people in the top categories in their stats. But I tell you what, BC's defense is a young, talented thoroughbreds. They can run and they can get after people. The secondary is very good. Dave Chaters comes back to the defensive line, adds some stability there, and their linebacking core has been together, been working really well, and they can run with the best of them. And I think that they're going to add a lot of pressure to this Edmonton team.
Well, Les, you were a defensive star, so I'm not surprised to hear you say it's going to be a defensive battle. I think it's going to be high scoring. I've been talking to some of the BC players this week, and they really feel they have a lot of weapons. Damon Allen, Doug Philpott, Williams, Millington, who's tied for the league lead in touchdowns. Trevathan, Clark, Thompson, all these guys can score touchdowns. Yeah. The Eskimos scored 41 points last week, and then there's always the Giz.
You always get the odds.
I don't have to say anything. You guys have covered it all very, very well. But, let me tell you one thing, and I know John and Glenn are going to talk about Danny McManus in a minute, but if he stays healthy, I think this is the best team in the Western Conference. They've got the best defense, 3 out of the top 4 sackers, play on Edmonton's defense. Leroy Blue, Benny Goods, and Malvin Hunter having a career year. Les likes the BC defense, rightfully so. He played there. He's still got a lot of friends on that team. But Edmonton has the best defense. Gizmo is returning kicks like he did 10 years ago. This is a heck of a team, and I think it's the best team in the West.
You know what? And your point's well taken when it comes to the Eskimos defense, because they got Kavis Reed, who leads the league in interceptions, with Glenn Rogers Jr. and Willie Pless out there, the leading tackler. Not going to be high scoring for their thoughts. Let's go to Board and Glenn in Edmonton.
High scoring.
Darren, the quarterbacks will be front and center today. The last time the BC Lions won the Grey Cup, Danny McManus was their quarterback. The last time the Edmonton Eskimos won the Grey Cup, Damon Allen was their quarterback. They're both playing today, but for the other teams.
Yeah, well, for Damon Allen today, he's up against the best front four in the CFL and the Edmonton Eskimos. 58 sacks so far this season, but it's a front four that hasn't had to chase Damon Allen, a guy who can get out of the pocket, get outside, and buy himself time. You know, over half his rushing yardage in career totals happened right here in Commonwealth Stadium.
Danny McManus got the job done for the BC Lions, winning a Grey Cup with them. He was been getting some criticism this year in Edmonton, but has rallied of late.
Yes, he has. Early in the season, he threw too many interceptions, but in his last 2 games, he has a 60% completion percentage and has thrown for close to 400 yards, no interceptions.
Commonwealth Stadium has been a graveyard for a lot of teams, but the BC Lions have won 2 of their last 3 regular season games here and 2 of their last 3 playoff meetings in this stadium. They seem to like it here. Darren?
Thanks very much, gentlemen. The Edmonton Eskimos are pumped up. When you talk Eskies, you talk D. We'll have the kickoff when we come back. This is the CFL Live on TSN.
The reviews are in. Leading industry publications agree that Corel WordPerfect Suite 7, the world's best word processor, is now an unbeatable Office suite.
Corel Suites include better internet features than Office or Smart Suite. Feature for feature, the new Corel Suite outperforms the competitors. Now it's Microsoft's turn to play catch-up.
Shouldn't you use the best?
Corel WordPerfect Suite 7. It's unbeatable.
Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton may get some snow before the day is out. There's a possibility of flurries in the forecast. The Edmonton Eskimos, who entered this game at 8-5, take on the 4-9 BC Lions. It's 4 degrees Celsius. The wind is gusting from the northwest. The natural grass here at Commonwealth is wet from overnight showers. Joe Paopao leads the BC Lions, who still have a shot at the playoffs. He was an assistant coach for the Eskimos in 94 and 95 and calls Edmonton's head coach, Ron Lancaster, a father figure to him. The 2 men spent a lot of time talking yesterday, and in fact have done that all season long. Ron Lancaster is 68-35 as the head coach of the Edmonton Eskimos. 2 more wins, and he'll tie Hugh Campbell for the most wins as an Edmonton Eskimo head coach. Eric Blunt on the right and Henry Williams on the left are back deep to receive the kickoff. Williams returned a punt for a touchdown last week against Winnipeg. The 24th time in his career he's taken a punt back for a touchdown. The kickoff is taken short by Eric Blunt at the 30-yard line. And now Blunt has some room to the outside. And Blunt gets up to the 38. Collared there by Andre Strode, a 45-yard kickoff and a 7-yard return. The starting lineups tonight are brought to you by Corel. 31-year-old Danny McManus leads the Edmonton Eskimos. He has thrown only 2 interceptions in his last 4 games. And, of course, quarterback the BC Lions to the Grey Cup in 1994. Joining him, Jim Sandusky, the player coach, with Mark Tobert, Darren Flutie, and the CFL's leading receiver in yards, Eddie Brown. Burse and Blunt in the backfield, and Rod Connor, the 15-year veteran, anchors the offensive line. And flags are down on the first play of the game before they can get things underway. The referee today is Edmonton native and lawyer Bud Steen.
Well, Dave Chaters was offside clearly, but was he drawn?
Offside, BC 74.
And Dave Chaters was indeed offside.
First game, the adrenaline's pumping. Dave Chaters just took off.
So the Eskimos now have it 1st and 5 from their own 42. And on first down, they give it off to Eric Blunt. And Blunt is tripped up neatly on the play by Reggie Carthon, number 28. It's a gain of 1.
Well, the BC defense has only given up 168 yards passing in its last 3 games. That includes one against Toronto. Dave Chaters, Tyrone Rogers, Johnny Scott up front. Shelton Quarles, Virgil Robertson, Tyrone Chapman, and David Mieve are the linebackers. The secondary led by Brandon Hamilton, Maurice Kelly on the corners, Kelly Sims, and Andre Stroder, the halfbacks. Tom Europe is the free safety.
On second down, they give it off to Eric Blunt, and Blunt has room through the middle of the line, gets out close to the 49-yard line, and should have an Edmonton Eskimo first down. Eric Blunt comes into the game with 805 yards rushing, but last week was limited to just 12 yards on 3 carries against Winnipeg.
Well, he's sort of had an off and on season. I mean, the projections, you look at it over the whole course of the year, he's going to get over 1,000 yards rushing. He needs to be in that game plan, because when this team is successful, they get over 100 yards on the ground.
On first down from the 48, McManus to throw. Over the top for Sandusky. Jim Sandusky slipped working on Reggie Carthon, and that area around the 40-yard line is the wettest here at Commonwealth Stadium. It's the only area on the field where there's visible water.
And Reggie Carthon's back in the lineup after missing a couple of games with the shoulder injury, and he will fight with the veteran Jim Sandusky up and down that sideline. Footwear, important, Commonwealth Stadium.
Jim Sandusky, another former Lion in the lineup. He was a CFL All-Star for BC in 1987. Second down, 10 yards to go. They give him the draw play to Eric Blunt, and he gets nothing. Great stop by the BC defense, led by Tyrone Chapman, the middle linebacker. And Edmonton will be forced to punt.
Well, Tyrone Chapman leads the team in tackles and roams that middle. Best linebacker so far this season for the BC Lions. Of course, he led the team last year in tackles as well. Also calls the defense.
Glenn Harper is back to punt. Ted Alford is the lone man back to receive for the BC Lions. Flags are down. Low kick to Alford. Could be returnable. But Don Blair gets down quickly for Edmonton. Blair, who had a punt return touchdown of his own last week, limits the return to 1 after a 43-yard punt by Glenn Harper. Flags are down. We'll sort them out when the CFL Live returns to Edmonton.
Play Safeway's Touchdown to Win. There's a prize for every touchdown and interception during TSN telecast. Prizes like a Daewoo 27-inch stereo TV, a Uniden cordless phone and answering system, a Dirt Devil Ultra handbag and cordless broom bag, or a packing case from Skyway Luggage. Or win a trip for 2 to Puerto Vallarta, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway feature products: Minute Rice, Cottonelle bathroom tissue. Touchdown to Win at Safeway, today's better way.
CFL Live on TSN. Brought to you by Corel, world leader in CD-ROM technology.
No score at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton with 12:23 to play in the first quarter. The BC Lions start their first possession from their own 23-yard line. The penalty on the kick was offside BC. Edmonton declined it. First down. The give goes off to Corey Philpott. And Corey Philpott fights for a couple of tough yards. Willie Pless got in there to help make the stop, along with linebacker Larry Ruck. Damon Allen started his CFL career with the Edmonton Eskimos and was the Grey Cup MVP for them in 1987 and in 1993. Joining him in the BC offense, Ted Alford and Larry Thompson outside, Matt Clark and Mike Trevathan inside. Sean Millington and Corey Philpott in the backfield. Philpott will be spelled out by Ronald Williams. And one change on the offensive line. Gary Zawatsky takes over at left guard for Corey Mantika. Second down. Allen swings it out of the backfield for the fullback, Sean Millington. And Millington gets a first down up to the 40-yard line. Millington, a former Edmonton Eskimo first-round draft pick, has a first down, but there's a flag deep in the Edmonton defensive backfield. The pickup was 12. The penalty is against Edmonton. And since it's a 12-yard gain, I doubt they'll accept it.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver
Edmonton number 27 declined.
So the BC Lions will take the first down from Sean Millington, and the drive will continue.
Singdor Mobley a little over-aggressive on the jam, and one of those receivers coming out of that backfield.
On first down, Allen to throw again. As a man has Larry Thompson. Another first down as Thompson gets to midfield. Thompson working there on Kavis Reed.
Wow, they're the best front four in the Canadian Football League. 58 sacks on the year and on pace to break the CFL record. That Edmonton defensive front four led by Malvin Hunter, who has 12 sacks on the year. Benny Goods, Leroy Blue both have 10. Larry Ruck is the middle linebacker. Singor Mobley and Willie Pless will join him. And Kavis Reed and Glenn Rogers lead the secondary.
Willie Pless, the three-time CFL Defensive Player of the Year. Here's Damon Allen. Set it up quickly there for Larry Thompson. Thompson can't get away from Singor Mobley. And Mobley went for a 2-yard ride, but did a great job to limit the gain.
Well, I talked to Joe Palpao about the game plan for the BC Lions against this Edmonton defense, and he said he's going to throw in a ton of formations. You see 4 receivers to one side for the BC Lions. Larry Thompson catches the hitch pass. Joe Palpao told me that he has more formations in the game plan today than he has ever put in for any game plan in his coaching career.
5 receivers in the game now for BC. Quarterback draw by David Allen. But Allen is collared by Derek McCready, and Allen is stopped at the 51-yard line. He'll be 6 yards short of a BC first down.
A big play by Derek McCready. Allen, not an easy guy to tackle. It was a designed quarterback draw. Fakes a pump, fake to the outside hitch screen, and then takes off. Derek McCready makes the big open field tackle. Of course, was in Ottawa last year where he had 5 sacks and has a couple for the Edmonton Eskimos this year.
Spent his first 5 CFL years with the Lions. Lou Pasaglia back to punt. Don Blair and Gizmo Williams back to receive. They both returned punts for touchdowns last week against Winnipeg. Pasaglia's foot. And perhaps those 2 punt return touchdowns last week a factor.
Well, Gord, Louis Pasaglia has been told, do not punt it to the returners, get it out of bounds.
Just a 16-yard kick by Pasaglia. The Eskimos will have the ball in good field position when we come back.
Hey, Annie.
Hi.
Love the hat.
I need it. My hair's a disaster. Look at my dandruff.
That's easy to take care of with the right shampoo. Here.
With ordinary shampoo, flakes can come back, but Head & Shoulders helps eliminate dandruff and stop flakes before they even start, so you may never see flakes again. And your hair.
My hair looks great. Thanks.
Don't forget your hat.
Who needs it?
Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Play Safeway's Touchdown to Win. There's a prize for every touchdown and interception during TSN telecast. Prizes like MasterCard Traveler's Checks from Bank of Montreal, Macassa Stoneware and the Lifestyle Pattern, Minolta Compact Zoom Binoculars, or Timex Watches with Indiglo Nightlight. Or win a trip for 2 to Puerto Vallarta courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway feature products, Kraft Peanut Butter, Campbell's Chunky Soup. Touchdown to Win at Safeway, today's better way.
CFL Live on TSN. Brought to you in part by Pepsi. Nothing else is a Pepsi. And by Advantage Long Distance Services from the Alliance of Canada's only full-service telecommunications companies.
Back in Edmonton, where Rod Conop has been a fixture for 15 years, the only Edmonton Eskimo remaining from their 5-in-a-row team that capped it off in 1982. Rod Conop had his consecutive game streak snapped earlier this year, but all-time games played, 252. He'll catch Dave Cutler just before the end of this season. What a career for Rod Conop, and if you think a consecutive game streak is something else, how about 252 games at center?
You get hit every play, and in those 15 years, 6 times, all Canadian in that position.
Danny McManus under pressure, throws it away. One Hobson looking for Tony Burse. He had 3 BC Lions all over him.
Well, one of the BC Lions was the free safety, Tom Europe. Timed it up nice, was in the backfield and came from his safety position. Tom Europe has been playing with some injury problems. He's coming on the blitz from the outside. You see 13 coming in there and chasing down the Edmonton quarterback. He's been playing with injuries. Hasn't had the season that the BC Lions expect from him, but he's played with a bad back and a bad hamstring all year and hasn't complained.
Lions need a big stop from their defense now. 2nd and 10 from the 35. McManus for Eddie Brown, wide open. Eddie Brown into BC territory at the 48-yard line, and Eddie Brown is the CFL's first 1,000-yard receiver of the season, and that football is going to his man.
Well, probably some people will say, well, why is Brandon Hamilton playing off so much? It's a zone defense. See number 8, Andre Strode? He jumped the flat man and opened up the zone behind him, so Eddie Brown was that wide open, and it was just one guy to beat in Tom Europe, where Eddie Brown scores touchdown there.
I think Eddie got a finger in the eye or something, but you know what? He may be seeing double, but now he can see 4. 4 figures, that is. 1,003 yards. And I believe there's an injured player down on the field.
Well, I mean, they were talking to Eddie Brown thought they were coming out, the training staff was coming out to talk to him, but they don't care about his eye. I mean, they're saying, hey, if you can catch it with one hand, you can see it with one eye.
11:25 to play in the second quarter. 15-0, the Edmonton Eskimos lead. Eddie Brown's over 1,000 yet again.
And when Eddie Brown played the BC Lions the first game of the season, had close to 100 yards in that game. He likes seeing the Lions.
Eddie Brown has his 3rd 1,000-yard receiving season in his career. And the injured person is an official right in front of the Edmonton Eskimo bench.
I'm not sure what happened to the official. Couldn't see what happened. We'll sort it out.
11:25 to play in the second quarter. The Edmonton Eskimos with a 15-point lead. The CFL Live returns to Commonwealth Stadium right after this.
The reviews are in. Leading industry publications agree that Corel WordPerfect Suite 7, the world's best word processor, is now an unbeatable office suite.
Corel Suites include better internet features than Office or Smart Suite. Feature for feature, the new Corel Suite outperforms the competitors. Now it's Microsoft's turn to play catch-up.
Shouldn't you use the best?
Corel WordPerfect Suite 7. It's unbeatable.
Talked earlier about Dan Kempley inducted into the CFL Hall of Fame yesterday. These 4 guys are not in, and to be honest with you, Glenn, I can't understand why. Only Les Brown picked off more passes than Larry Highball. Al Wilson, a 7 consecutive All-Star. James Parker redefined his position, and Dickie Harris was named to 7 straight All-Star teams and played in 6 Grey Cup games.
Yeah, they all should be in there, and I'm sure they will be one time.
First down, the give goes off to Eric Blunt, collared very quickly and stopped by Johnny Scott. By the way, Les Brown, if you're listening back in the studio, you got to be a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame as soon as you're eligible. No one's intercepted more passes in CFL history than Les Brown.
No one's gambled more than Les Brown. And
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. He has like 89 career picks. How many do you have?
I didn't keep count. 51.
That's Dennis Swerich, the side judge, who was injured. He was elbowed in the head, we're told, and is receiving attention from the Edmonton Eskimo medical staff, hoping he'll come back to the football game. Second down, McManus. Flutie flags her down. He's gone. 48-yard touchdown. Now, will it stand?
Well, Flutie was fighting with Andre Strode to get into the middle, get into that open position. Tom Europe was out of the middle, so it was wide open. Darren Flutie was fighting, just a matter of who gets snapped.
Contact on an eligible receiver. BC 28 decline.
2 touchdowns in the football game for the former Lion, Darren Flutie.
It wasn't 28, it was 8. It was Andre Strode who was playing the halfback position. Andre Strode was trying to keep Darren Flutie out of the middle, and in doing so grabs onto him. It didn't matter anyway. Flutie does the perfect swim move, gets into the middle where there was no free safety help.
Sean Fleming to try the point after. Defensive coordinator Jeff Reinbold looks on. He also does the special teams for the Lions. They've had a punt blocked, and they've given up 21 points with the convert to come.
Live by the pressure defense, and sometimes die by the pressure defense.
Sean Fleming puts the point after throw. The Edmonton Eskimos can secure a berth in the playoffs. They're looking good so far with a 22-0 lead. For touchdown.
Those are all cold. And Darren Flutie, smart receiver. Here he is right here. Here's Andre Strode. Now Andre Strode has to deny the inside. Darren Flutie knows that. He sees no safety, gets in there. Look at Andre Strode. Grab onto the receiver. Darren Flutie comes up with the catch anyway. The penalty didn't matter. Smart receiver sees no safety in the middle. He tries to get into that open area, and Darren Flutie is one of the best at it.
And the Edmonton Eskimos with a 22-0 lead on the BC Lions. You got to think that the Lions can ill afford a loss, maybe one loss, and they'll still make the playoffs, but only one. Corey Philpott from the 20. Oh, Philpott ran into a brick wall out at the 30-yard line, and that brick wall's name is Jed Roberts. Well, give the Edmonton Eskimos a short field and some time to work the football, and Danny McManus, who appears to have been shaken up, will get the job done, just as the BC Lions. They know that well. 4 plays, 75 yards, and it took just over 2 minutes.
Ron Lancaster has done a nice job of putting together this offensive game plan because Edmonton right now has the BC defense on its heels, picking up the blitzes, finding the open area.
Damon Allen, quick throw, has his man. It's complete to Mike Trevete, close to a first down, or just short up at the 40-yard line.
You know, I'm really surprised this BC Lion offense hasn't run the ball more so far in the game. You know, they come into this game 140 yards rushing average per game, which is second in the CFL. They're playing against a defense that is ranked third against the run and first against the pass. The bread and butter for the BC Lions offense has been their running game, and they seem to have abandoned it.
Good luck throwing a touchdown against Edmonton, though. 13 games, they've allowed 7 passing touchdowns. Big shot, Billington busts his way off tackle, and Billington, who began his career with the Eskimos, has a first down. Sean Billington came to Edmonton on a Simon Fraser, and they weren't sure he'd be a big-time player. Well, guess what? He is.
Yeah, that's an understatement, and there's a couple of real good ones, couple of all-stars going at it right there, Willie Pless and Sean Millington. You know, Sean Millington went to the same high school as I did, Carson Graham High School in North Vancouver.
You went with Sean Millington, and I went with Trent Brown.
Right.
Damon Allen wide side out, and it is dropped at the Edmonton Eskimo bench by Larry Thompson, just out of his reach. Damon Allen loves to throw that wide side out, and it's a major league fling.
Yeah, it is, but the read for Damon Allen took him there. Edmonton defense was playing a 3-deep zone. That's 3 defensive backs in the deep area. The weakness of that kind of a defense is the flat or the outside area, and that's where Damon Allen threw it. Larry Thompson just couldn't come up with the catch.
8:30 to play in the second quarter. Damon Allen is 5 for 10 passing. Second down. Allen, quick throw, but his receiver was mugged. Singor Mobley was all over Matt Clark, and Mike Trevathan, Clark's former teammate at Montana, jumps in to ask for the penalty, but it's not coming.
Well, Singor Mobley, one of the keys to this success of this defense, because Edmonton doesn't have to put in an extra defensive back. Singor Mobley has the ability to cover, and he also is great on the run. And there's what happens when the Edmonton defense stops the opposing team's running game. They win.
They're winning. BC has 21 yards rushing in this game. Lou Pasaglia and a kick. What's going to happen here? Tumbling end-over-end kick. Bounces back into the field of play. Gizmo waits. And gets out to the 32-yard line, a 40-yard punt, and a return of 6 for Edmonton. Well, Henry Williams spent most of the first part of the season on the bench. In fact, didn't dress until September and had come out publicly asking for a place in the Edmonton Eskimo lineup. And sure enough, just about the time he found it, he found the end zone again. And Henry Williams has taken 24 back for touchdowns. What's most amazing, he's had 19 called back for penalties.
Add up Earl Winfield and Mike Clemens, you get 18.
And Cody Ledbetter comes into the game for the Edmonton Eskimos. Danny McManus shaken up after throwing that touchdown pass to Darren Flutie. The gift goes off to Eric Blunt. Flags are down, and so is Blunt right at the 32-yard line.
Well, interesting to see what happened to Danny McManus. He was sort of rolling his neck, and on that bench, it's like he got a little ding. Might be a little groggy on the bench, so Cody Ledbetter gets a shot.
Cody Ledbetter has 2 touchdown passes this year. One of them to Darren Flutie, won a game against the Calgary Stampeders. That was his first CFL action.
And Danny McManus was hurt in that game.
Holding, Edmonton 67.
Rod Conniff is called for holding, so the Eskimos will move back. So Cody Ledbetter from New Mexico State comes into this game for the Edmonton Eskimos. And Danny McManus getting his neck checked out by Edmonton and Team Canada doctor from the World Cup, David Reed.
Is that the World Cup where the brown guys won? Is that the one you're talking about?
Well, the Americans won, yeah, sure. The flip goes off, and here comes the gizmo around the corner. Great play made by Brandon Hamilton. That was some major league speed coming his way.
Well,
Brandon Hamilton held his ground.
That's why it was a great play. Brandon Hamilton is the last guy outside. He's got containment on Gizmo Williams, comes out of his coverage, and if he doesn't get Gizmo and he gets to the outside, that fire truck is making another lap.
You hated that thing, didn't you? Now, if you had to pick between the fire truck, the horse in Calgary, and the little guy in the plane in Winnipeg,
Fire truck the most, so I'd like to have slashed his tires.
Second and 20, Edmonton. Ledbetter under pressure, gets away, and he'll run. Ponsaru. Ledbetter. Pretty good pickup out to the 38-yard line. Cody Ledbetter.
That's a courageous play. That's a courageous play for Cody Ledbetter. I'm going to tell you why. When they played the Calgary Stampeders, Cody Ledbetter sprained his ankle, and it was swollen for the rematch against Calgary here in Commonwealth, where he played a whole half. Then he played in the Hamilton game because Danny McManus was out. After the Hamilton game, they x-rayed Cody Ledbetter's ankle. Turns out there's a chipped bone in there.
Ouch.
They said, you want to sit out and miss the next couple of games? He said, why? I played the last 3 with it. I might as well continue. So that's a courageous effort for Ledbetter to take off and run with a broken ankle.
Dan Oliver back deep. You see flags are down. Maybe too many men, BC. Ball rolling around there. And it's picked up by the kicker, Glenn Harper. The 33-year-old Glenn Harper hustles down, picks up the ball. Now, there's all kinds of flags down. I think BC had 13 men on the field.
Well, our mics were picking up the Edmonton bench, and they were screaming that BC had too many men, had 13 out there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 2 returners. That's 13.
Too many men. British Columbia declined. On the no yards, 18 is the punter. There is no foul. Edmonton first down.
The punter can pick it up anytime he wants. Glenn Harper did it. He punted at 33, hustled his little buns down there, picked it up, and Edmonton has it first and 10 for the BC 36.
You know, and see Danny McManus is woozy on the sideline. He's definitely heading to the locker room for some more attention.
It'll take him a week to get there at that pace.
Yeah, you know when you're walking delicately, it's like you have one of those real bad headaches, and he's kind of pointing to his head, and you take a look at him. Of course, concussion's been a big part of the CFL this year for quarterbacks.
Cody Ledbetter is the quarterback for the foreseeable future. And flags once again come down before the play is called. You know what I like about Cody Ledbetter? Talking to him before the game, it's a little cold. He's from New Mexico. He says, you know what? I'm not wearing sleeves. Never.
Time count violation. Edmonton, number 9.
I said, Cody, it's only September. He says, oh, it's cold. I'm not wearing sleeves.
Yeah, but
I said, Cody, when it's November and it's 30 below, I'm not wearing sleeves.
Yeah, you know what, though? He's one of those cowboys. I mean, Cody Ledbetter was the calf rope champion at his high school in Stevensville, Texas. He's a tough cookie. The calf roping champion.
At his high school.
Yeah.
Look out. He got roped there. Robert Davis didn't need a lasso. He just used his hands. That was a little steer wrestling of the cowboy from Stephenville, Texas. Well, we have a minute. Here's Ken Chillebeck.
Okay, thanks, Gord. McManus, you can see just taking him off into the dressing room. I was watching them. They were checking his neck, twisting it from side to side, and they were worried about some injuries in the neck. Also checking his knee, but definitely the neck. He got his bell rung. They're going to take him in and check it out. Gord?
So Danny McManus makes his way in, and Cody Ledbetter will direct the attack for the Edmonton Eskimos. He's completed 37.5% of his passes. He'll never forget that first touchdown pass to win a game here. Lots of time for Ledbetter. He's slinging it deep. 3 guys back there for BC, and it is knocked out of the hands of Tom Europe. The safety, Tom Europe, was parked under it like a punt. Eddie Brown was facing 3 Lions there. Deep.
Well, Reggie Carthon, I think, stripped the ball from his teammate. Tom Europe has a couple of interceptions on the season. There's Carthon. He's got outside position. What you want to do as a corner is run the receiver to the free safety. Robert Davis also getting in on the action. Here comes Europe. Times his jump, and then Reggie Carthon pulls that one out. It's been that kind of year for Tom Europe.
And now Glenn Harper will punt again after returning his own kick. Gets it away. Flags down again. I think BC's got 13 men on the field again. Penn Alford jumps on the football at the 20.
They do.
BC Lion hustled off the field, and now another flag comes down way after the play. The referee, Bud Steen, saw it.
Well,
I think BC had 13 on the field again.
Yeah, they did. I was just counting as they were talking right there. They had 13 on the field again. So that was the first flag, most definitely.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness.
There's 11 here. There's a couple back here. There's one over there, too.
Yeah.
That's 13.
And there's objectionable conduct as well. And now the Lions, Sheldon Quarles is counting on his fingers who's on the field.
Jeff Reinboldt takes care of a lot of the special teams for the Lions, and he's been, I guess you could call it overcoaching. Coaching 13 punt return specialists.
Well, I know the Board of Governors met on Friday. Did they change the rules that we didn't hear about?
Well, you know, sometimes it can happen once, but to happen back-to-back punt returns, almost unheard of.
But objectionable conduct, Edmonton. By the way, it's 3rd and 31 if Glenn Harper wants to take off. In case he's thinking about it.
3rd and a couple of acres, and I doubt that he'll fake it here.
And Alford is the lone man back deep to receive. And the Lions have 12 men on the field, as per the rules. Harper angles it towards the side. Alford slipped and falls on the ball at the 17-yard line. A 39-yard punt and no return. So that worked out pretty well for Edmonton. And the BC Lions are having difficulty getting anything going. Allen is 5 for 11 passing for 52 yards. But his team needs a major league comeback now. Trailing 22-0 with 4:03 to play in the first half.
Yeah, but with 4:03 to play, I still don't think it's too soon to abandon your game plan.
Think about this, though. Cody Ledbetter's quarterback of the Edmonton Eskimos. Yeah. He's a good young prospect, but he's 23 years old. He doesn't complete a lot of passes. Chances are the Edmonton Eskimos aren't going to put 40 points on the board if McManus doesn't come back. Allen, under pressure, gets it away and has his man. Matt Clark makes the catch up at the 34-yard line. And Matt Clark, who has been somewhat quiet this year with just 3 touchdown catches, has a gain of 16.
Well, I talked earlier about playing the zone defense. Ed Beatty's right there. That's Matt Clark for the Lions. Ed Beatty has to drop, or Derek Beatty, has to drop to the curl, doesn't get out to the flat in time in the zone defense. That's why Matt Clark is alone on the sideline. Damon Allen picked it up.
First down, Allen. Gets it out there for Mike Trevathan, and geez, good sound there. He hit our audio guy. Hope he's okay. He hit our sound man. That's why it sounded so good.
Was it something we said?
And he appears to be all right.
I don't know about the mic, though.
You gotta take one for the squad sometimes, I guess.
Well, Trevathan breaks to the out. This time, Edmonton's in man, and Glenn Rogers in charge of covering him, and there goes to center.
Like that. So, Andy got run over by a train down there.
He was smiling when he got up, so he's all right.
There you go.
The mic isn't.
Don't call the office. I hope it's insured. Now, the Eskimos give up a yard on that second down play. It's now 3rd and a yard, and BC will likely gamble here. 3:13 to go in the first half. BC has not yet scored a point in the football game.
Well, there's 2 points to this decision for Joe Palpal. One, Cody Ledbetter's now the quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos. That takes a little pressure off this decision. The other is he needs a momentum lifter and something to get him into the half, maybe get some points. This is a big play for his offense.
3rd and short.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if Edmonton got there.
I don't think they got it.
And Glenn Rogers is taunting the BC bench, and you might want to be careful over there. I don't think they're in a very good mood.
They're going to measure it, but I don't think they got it. They needed a full yard.
Somebody clipped Millington's ankle right as he got to the line of scrimmage. I couldn't see who reached underneath and got him.
Someone got real low.
Didn't get it.
No, they're well short.
The Lions give up the ball on downs. We've hit the 3-minute warning. The Edmonton Eskimos having things their way. Palpau's Lions trail by 22.
They're not so big. We can take them. Big, big, everybody. Big, 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 big.
Big taste, think big deal. With a New York fries and Pepsi purchase, get a Mr. Big free now while supplies last.
Coming up in our Corral halftime show, we'll take you to Hamilton for highlights of the Ticats and the Alouettes. We'll also analyze this first half of football.
Closed captioning of this CFL telecast is brought to you by Subway. Try Subway's great tasting classic Italian BMT.
Moments ago, the BC Lions gamble on 3rd down. Who got him, Glenn?
Well, it's good surge by that whole D-line. I think Benny Goods gets his hand on Millington. That trips him up, and Larry Ruck had come over the top to make sure he couldn't fall forward.
Now on 1st down, the Edmonton Eskimos give off to Eric Blunt, who gets maybe a yard. 2:42 to play, and actually, I think they'll mark him down with a loss of a yard. So the running game becomes paramount for the Edmonton Eskimos now, with the young quarterback in the game for Edmonton.
Yeah, it's important for Edmonton now, especially with Cody Ledbetter in there, to get success on 1st down, whether it means dumping a short pass to Eric Blunt or fullback Tony Burse or running the ball, but success on 1st down is crucial. Cody Ledbetter can't get in that second long situation.
And Tony Burse is the injured Edmonton Eskimo down at the BC 39-yard line. Burse is receiving medical attention, and that's why play is stopped here as he's down right at the 39.
Well, Tony Burse had the shoulder injury, and Jerry Collins replaced him for a bunch of games during the year and just got back for the Hamilton game. The Edmonton played out in Hamilton. Looks like they may be talking about that shoulder again. But he'll have to sit out 3 plays for sure. The training staff had to come out and tend to him.
So the Edmonton Eskimos go to their 5-pack offense. As checking into the game for the Eskimos is Don Blair, who does not yet have a CFL catch, although he does have a CFL touchdown.
Whoa.
Ledbetter, look out. I mean, Ledbetter saw Dave Chaters from the word go. And look at the divot he's got going there.
Oh, you gotta love that.
You can take that home and practice on it.
You gotta love it unless you're Cody Ledbetter, but David Chaters gets great pressure, 74 right there, and
He just runs right by Leo Groenwagen, who had to go out and pick up Tyrone Rogers and didn't see Chaders coming. And boy, Ledbetter got a close-up look at the Commonwealth turf.
Johnny Scott is the injured BC Lion down to the 50-yard line. 2:19 to play. The ball at the BC 43-yard line. And Scott, who's had a great year for the Lions, leads them with 8 quarterback sacks. Shares the lead with Shelton Quarles.
Yeah, him and Dave Chaders really having their best, great seasons. Dave Chaders has his 4th sack now of the campaign, 1996, and last 2 years he's only had a couple apiece, so he's having his best year too.
Well, we talked about Cody Ledbetter, who is in the game from New Mexico State, and it's a major league pipeline for quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League. These are the top 4 passers from that league in 1993. Chris Vargas, now with the Lions, led the way. Jeff Garcia, now with Calgary, was 2nd. Anthony Calvillo was with the Ticats, was 3rd. Cody Ledbetter wants me to point out he was a sophomore when he was scoring. All 4 of those guys were in the top 10 in passing that year, but that man, Chris Vargas, led the conference in passing.
We talked to Cody Ledbetter after the game when they beat Calgary on the last play. Ledbetter threw that throw. He says, it was so good a victory just because I could never beat Garcia in college.
Here comes Ted Alford from the 5. Flags are down, and so is Alford, who stumbles forward to the 8 with 2:11 to play. A 39-yard punt by Glenn Harper. Edmonton decides not to kick the field goal. It would have been a 50-yard attempt by Sean Fleming into the wind here at Commonwealth Stadium.
Well, it's 50 yards into the wind. Now, Flemings can make a kick that far, but when the turf is wet, that plant foot, you have to be a little more careful.
No yards. Edmonton 36.
To be a little bit more careful with that plant foot, and it's a little tougher to hit those long ones.
Bruce Dixon is the man called for no yards.
Oh, Shelton Quarles is pretty close to the clip there.
He said, yeah, that guy clipped me. That guy
also got pushed in. Another SFU grad.
Oh, all right, enough of that. Maybe you should get a 1-800 number if you want to recruit for SFU. There's Corey Philpott on 1st down. Philpott out to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 3. This Edmonton Eskimo defense is so tough from the middle out. When you look at McCready and Goods, just 2 pillars of strength in the middle for Edmonton.
Yeah, and then when you get in behind McCready and Goods, guess who's standing there?
Exactly.
39. Is there any better that's ever put on shoulder pads for the Edmonton Eskimos? This guy's unbelievable.
They just put a guy in the Hall of Fame today who was pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good too. He's pretty good too, but there's not many better than that guy.
David Allen looking deep. He wants Alford, and a flag comes down.
Yeah, I think Trent Brown's going to get nabbed for the interference.
Ted Alford was working deep on Glenn Rogers and Trent Brown. And I think Brown, the pride of Strathcona Compton High School and the University of Alberta, is going to be called.
Okay, we're going to plug the colleges now.
Well, if you're going to say SFU,
Deliberate forward pass interference. Edmonton 28.
Trent Brown takes a penalty that'll move the BC Lions out close to midfield.
Glenn Rogers and Trent Brown and Ted Alford are all in that bunch, and see Trent Brown sees Ted Alford getting in behind him and tries to kind of grab on. If there's a good penalty, I guess that's one.
If he ever has a beef with the Players Association, he can keep it in the family, though. His uncle is Ed Molstad, the legal counsel for the CFL Players Association.
Never know when that could come in handy.
You never know. Always good to know a lawyer, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
1st down, Allen gets it out there for Alford, so beats the first man and gets out to the Edmonton 51-yard line, his first catch of the game.
Well, Ted Alford was with Joe Powpow when they were both here in Edmonton. I asked Joe, why didn't Ted Alford make the team that year? And he did make it here in BC with you. And he said, well, I had Ted Alford as slot back in Edmonton, and he wasn't a slot back. He was a wide receiver, and I figured it out, got him at the wide out position, and I think he's a pretty good player.
Clock running, 1:25 to play in the first half. BC without a point so far in the football game. Allen lobs it up the sidelines for Alford, and it is just out of his reach. He was working there on Malcolm Frank.
And Malcolm Frank, who doesn't have an interception this season for Edmonton, but is probably their best cover guy in the secondary, was in perfect position. A lot of times defensive backs are only judged by interceptions. They don't look at people voting on All-Stars, the media don't look at just how well this guy's covering. He's got 7 knockdowns on the year and has been their best cover man.
And the Lions will be forced to punt with 1:16 to go here in the first half. Blair and Williams back deep to receive. Henry Williams has now taken a punt back for a touchdown against every team in the CFL. Winnipeg was the only team he hadn't netted against.
Yeah, Bob Cameron was bragging about that, but I guess he can't brag about that anymore.
Pasaglia looking for the sidelines. Good kick. But Williams will get a chance to return it from the 5. And he is stopped at the 6. Great job by the BC special teams to hustle down and stop him. Stephen Glenn got down to make the stop along with Maurice Kelly. Well, last week at the Winnipeg Stadium, which has been a graveyard for Gizmo over the years, this was the scene late in the game. After Don Blair had taken one back, maybe Gizmo thought that his job was in jeopardy, so he just went right back the other way. Does anyone have a faster first 5 steps than him?
I tell you what, when he catches the ball in the air, moving forward, boy, you better get him with that first wave because no one is going to catch it.
Chance for some points.
I've seen that look right there many times in my career. But the name tag of Henry Williams.
First down, the gift goes off to Blunt. And Blunt takes a shot as he crosses the 10, gets out to the 12-yard line. If the Lions can stop Edmonton short of a first down here and force them to punt, they got a chance for some points.
Oh, yeah, this is a real key drive for the Lions offense, especially with, talked about it earlier, Cody Ledbetter in there, and Eric Blunt does his part, picks up a good job, or does a good job on first down, but this is a huge play for that BC defense. They can come out with some points if they can stop him here.
Big week for Cody Ledbetter. He's playing and he bought a new truck. When you're from Stephenville, Texas, getting the truck's as big as playing. Second down. Here comes Blunt, and what a great stop made there by David Mava. The pride of Honolulu, Hawaii, holds Eric Blunt down to a loss of 1. The Lions want to call a timeout. 40 seconds to play. The Eskimos will have to punt, and the Lions will indeed get a chance for some points. And no doubt they'll come hard after this kick, and the Eskimos have been vulnerable to having punts blocked this season.
The BC Lions gambled on that defensive play, and it paid off. They had all 11 defensive players. 1 corner was off the line of scrimmage. The other 11 defensive ball players were 1 yard off the ball. They were anticipating the run. They got it. David Mieva makes the big play.
The ball is spotted at the Edmonton 13-yard line. The Lions have taken their timeout to stop the clock. And Harper will now face the wrath of the BC special teams, trying to get their football team back in the game.
And I would say that Glenn Harper will very likely take this ball and give up the 2 points.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
really?
Ron Lancaster's looking at maybe giving up 2 right here and kicking it away and keeping the field position, or at the very worst 3.
Edmonton's got to call timeout. I don't think, how many guys does Edmonton have on the field now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Buddy Holt, exactly.
No, they just want to change their scheme a little bit. Now they want to talk it over, and I think Ron Lancaster might just tell Glenn Harper what you just told me. So the instructions have gone into Harper. 40 seconds to go. You'd give up 2 here.
I'd give up 2 here. I mean, Robert Davis is going to pick the ball up on Edmonton's side of midfield. If he gets any kind of return, you're already almost in Louis Pasaglia's field goal range. That's 3 points.
You know what? You got the best defense in the league. I say kick it.
Well, let's see who.
You're probably right, but I'm kicking. Harper's going back. Harper will run as much time off the clock as he can and give up the safety, which he does. 33 seconds to go in the first half, and the BC Lions have their first points as Glenn Harper surrenders 2.
Smart move by Ron Lancaster. He's looking at 3 points at the worst, and then 1 big play from a guy like Damon Allen on the other bench, and all of a sudden it's a 7 points, and BC Lions have momentum going in at halftime. Good play by Ron Lancaster. The only points he's given BC is the 2 that he's just given them. They haven't earned any. And Harper, this is where the punters catch that ball and they see that rush. They go, whoa, I got to get out of here. Okay, let me get to that back and get my...
Where is that thing?
I got to get my butt out of the end zone.
Where's that stripe? So now the Eskimos will kick it off to the Lions. And We'll see if BC has a reverse or anything up their sleeves.
Better ran out of real estate real quick.
Your jacket?
Well, you know, this is a guy who sprinted downfield to recover a punt. So, I mean,
Yeah. That's a big play.
he's the fastest employee I think Edmonton Telephone's ever had. He used to be a telephone repair guy here.
Is that right? Where you come up with these things?
You know what? You stand on the sidelines talking to guys for 4 years, you find out a lot of stuff. Namely, who doesn't like to get cold. Sean Fleming kicks it off. And out of bounds. Well, there's all kinds of chess games going on out here. And while we have a moment, we can tell you what's coming up tomorrow night on TSN. Big night for us here at the network. The baseball preview starts at 7:30 Eastern. Then the NHL season preview, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Yours truly with Bob McKenzie, my partner.
All right.
For the last 6 years. And Paul Roman and Gary Green. Dave Hodge stopped by. We'll take you through everything you need to know for the NHL in the 96-97 season.
Any sleeper picks for the hockey pool?
Well, you know, Glenn, it's interesting. I know you finished second in your hockey pool last year, but you told the guys that you're with that you didn't get any help.
Oops.
So you know what, Glenn?
I had the TSN hockey staff. Well, they know now.
So you know what, Glenn? You're not getting any help. Well, we have a moment. Here's Ken Chillibeck.
Okay, thanks, Gord. Just talking to the trainer here with the Eskimos. They're just checking on Danny McManus's neck. Just a precaution during the halftime break. Hopefully it'll be okay. He might get back in the second half. Just a wait-and-see type of situation right now. Guys?
Thanks very much, Ken. So Sean Fleming will try it again. And this time they kick it the other way. From the 30, here comes Corey Philpott. And here he goes. Philpott across the 50 to the 52-yard line. Trent Brown makes the stop. 28 seconds left in the first half. The Lions have the ball near midfield. They've got their first points and a chance to add some more.
With a young quarterback with 28 seconds, you may get 3 plays. With a Damon Allen, you could maybe squeeze out 4 or 5, and I think the BC Lions will try and come away with some points. I mean, they're not going to just kneel down with 28 seconds left. They need some momentum.
Still amazing, though. The Edmonton Eskimos have allowed 7 passing touchdowns. From the shotgun, 4-man rush. Allen throws it up to the wide side, incomplete. Derek Beattie was covering the intended target, Larry Thompson, and lurking there was Kavis Reed, number 24, who has taken 2 interceptions back for touchdowns this season.
Yeah, we saw one right here in Commonwealth against my old teammates. 106-yarder, the longest so far this year. And
yeah, 7 picks for Glenn Rogers, 6 for Kavis Reed. Look at the top 4 interceptors in the league live in the province of Alberta.
That's amazing. The top 2 are Edmonton Eskimos.
Here comes Damon Allen on the quarterback draw. I guess this is a no-fly zone then.
Well, yeah, and then you get 3 out of the 4 top sackers in the Canadian Football League are also here in Edmonton. It's pretty good defense.
Willie Pless and Damon Allen, good friends and former teammates, and Willie has a laugh as he drags Allen down short of a first down. 19 seconds to play. Remember, the Lions have used their timeout. So if they dive ahead on the 3rd down gamble, they'll have to hurry up because they can't stop the clock again.
This was about the same distance that Edmonton stopped BC on their last 3rd down gamble.
Clock is running. They toss it off to Corey Philpott. He's got to get out of bounds. But he gets down to the 37-yard line, 6 seconds to play. Now you're kind of in between.
Field goal team comes in right now.
You see, you're in between. Now a flag comes down late. What's this all about? There's been a lot of pushing and shoving after plays here.
Well, this is against BC.
I think it's against Edmonton. But...
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Edmonton 40.
Benny Goods is called for unnecessary roughness, the man they call the Grinch. Because he kind of looks like the Grinch from the cartoon.
You're a bad one, Mr. Grinch.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, he's a bad one there. You got the penalty.
Now, at our house, whenever they say who, you have to drink some eggnog. Whenever from the Grinch. There he is. Startling resemblance when you look at it. Now the Lions have it. First down at the Edmonton 22. Would you take a shot here? Why not? You got 6 seconds.
No, you got to kick the field goal. Come away with some points. Anything goes wrong, it takes a little bit too long. You don't get anything out of this, so I think it's a good decision.
Lou Pasaglia puts it up, misses it to the right. And now another flag comes down. Benny Goods hit Julio Caravana after the kick, and we got a full-fledged rugby scrum breaking out. Oh, look out, Gary Zawatsky hit Benny Goods late. There are 3 flags down on the field. Make that 4 now. Ron Lancaster is off the Edmonton bench. Joe Powpow is off the BC bench. There's a lot of players on the field, too.
You know what amazes me about this kind of situation? How does the ref decide what the penalties are? I mean, you got 4 guys fight. You know what they did? They said, oh, forget it. Let's just go in at halftime.
They're going to shot somebody down there. That was the final play of the half, and it ends with a Major League rumble. Look at this. That's 4 on 1.
Sean Millington holding it. Here comes Gary Swatsky.
So I guess they'll tell us what the penalties were when they start the second half. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I've never seen penalties carried over. So they're huddling down at the 5-yard line. They're going to get the players to cool off in the dressing room. And the Edmonton Eskimos will go to the room with a 22-3 lead over the BC Lions. So the Lions get just 1 off the field goal attempt from Luke Pasaglia. I'm sure our halftime panel will have lots to say about that and other stuff. Stand by, our CFL Live halftime show coming up.
The reviews are in. Leading industry publications agree that Corel WordPerfect Suite 7, the world's best word processor, is now an unbeatable Office suite.
Corel Suites include better internet features than Office or Smart Suite. Feature for feature, the new Corel Suite outperforms the competitors. Now it's Microsoft's turn to play catch-up.
Shouldn't you use the best?
Corel WordPerfect Suite 7. It's unbeatable.
CFL Live at the half. Brought to you by Corel, world leader in CD-ROM technology.
Well, a little melee at the end of that first half of football, but really that's the first signs of life from the BC Lions. They've played a rather lethargic game so far, Lee.
Yeah, they really have, Darren. Maybe that little scrap at the end is going to shake them up. But, you know, when you look at BC, really they played Saskatchewan last week and won. They didn't play well in that game. I think it was Saskatchewan's ineptitude that allowed BC to win. And I think that's carried over into this game. To me, a judge of how a team is going to play, if they're going to play well, is how they play on special teams. BC's allowed 1 punt to be blocked by Mike Sellers. They allowed another punt to lie around and let Glenn Harper come and recover it. Special teams has been a nightmare in that half. The only thing I worry about now is 19 points enough for Cody Ledbetter.
You'd have to believe so with the Edmonton Eskimo defense. But you bring up an interesting point, too. There are not a lot of good quality backups in the Canadian Football League. And we've seen that in Saskatchewan, and we've seen it with the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, I think you might see Chris Vargas in this second half coming in for BC because Damon Allen had a terrible first half. 8 for 16 for 83 yards. He was off target the whole time. You know, what makes Damon Allen successful and has for 12 years in the CFL is his ability to run the ball. But he only carried the ball twice for less than 10 yards. I think you might see Vargas come in, and he played a poor second half in their game last week against Saskatchewan.
Well, the BC Lions have to do something offensively, and if that means running Damon Allen, so be it. But the Edmonton Eskimos are awfully tough to run against. Leaf, you brought up Jeff Reinbold, the special teams coach from BC. Do you like the way this game is being called, Les?
Not really, because, you know, like, I agree with Reinbold, his initial decision on going after Danny McManus at the beginning, because Danny McManus is not a scrambler. He can't run. So eventually, at the beginning, go after him, pressure him, see if he can get rid of the ball, and if he does, then abandon it, which they should have done. They should have abandoned the blitz because now the defensive backs are at a disadvantage. The field's slippery. The guy gives you one move, he's in the middle, and if there's no free safety there, it's a touchdown every time.
Let me tell you something about Jeff Reinbold. He does things his own way. He wears the 2 earrings. He drives a Harley to practice every day. He's a Buddhist. No one will tell him what to do. He does what he wants to do.
You know what, though? Exactly. You better do something quickly because the Edmonton Eskimos right now are dictating the terms in this football game. And we did the game on Friday night with the Calgary Stampeders. You get the feeling that Calgary is kind of slipping and sliding a little bit. But on the other hand, with Danny McManus in there, the Edmonton Eskimos are a very dangerous team, Leaf.
Well, I don't think there's any question. I said at the beginning of this show that I thought they were the best team right now in the Western Conference. But I also qualified it by saying they're the best team if they have Danny McManus. Now, He's got the neck injury at halftime. Don't know whether he's going to play, but this team is totally different with Cody Ledbetter.
Yeah, we'll see if Mr. Ledbetter
Yeah,
can...
but I agree, though. Listen, I think this is the best team right now in the West.
Yeah, we'll see if Ledbetter can wrangle the Edmonton Eskimos a victory in this football game. They've got a healthy margin of victory at this point in time. We'll take a short break. This is the CFL Live on TSN. When we return, highlights from the Alouettes Ticats game played earlier this afternoon.
McCain Pizza Pockets are ready. Are you? Ready for a chance to win one of 100 Sony PlayStations, the world's hottest video game system, equipped with the awesome new action game Crash Bandicoot, or one of 500 Oasis CDs. Every time you buy your favorite tasting McCain Pizza Pockets with this special flash on the pack, check inside to see if you've won. It's your chance to win a Sony PlayStation with Crash Bandicoot or an Oasis CD. McCain Pizza Pockets are ready. Are you? Whoa.
Welcome back to our Corral halftime show. Last week, Paul Osbaldiston tied a CFL record as he kicked 8 field goals against the Ottawa Roughriders. He also booted the game winner. This afternoon, his Ticats were home to the Montreal Alouettes, and the Tabbies called upon Paul again. It was a very windy day for this annual Hall of Fame game in Hamilton. This was a good contest early on. Michael Soule, second major of the game, 14-0. Second quarter, it's the former Alouette. Mike Saunders, he'll dive in. It's 14-7. There's a Hall of Famer, Danny Kepley, looking for somebody to throw the elbow into. In the second half, Tracy Ham hooks up with Jock Climby. It's a 60-yard touchdown, 24-15 Montreal. Hamilton responds. Saunders, he'll find the end zone again to make it 32-29 with a quarter left. His counterpart, Mike Pringle, had a great day as well. One of a few big rushes for Pringle. The Tabbies then go ahead with minutes remaining. Anthony Calvillo spots Matt Cody. They pull ahead 36-35. Terry Baker puts Montreal up 38-36. No time on the clock. Paul Osbaldiston, he boots the game winner for the second consecutive week. The Tabbies win the Hall of Fame game 39-38. Anthony Calvillo, 3 touchdown passes in the second half. The Ticats improved to 7-7 on the season. Montreal is 7-6. They're tied for second place in the Eastern Conference. As you take a look at the standings, Toronto running away with the division, 11-2. Then you've got the Tabbies. Then you've got the Alouettes. And it looks like they're going to battle down the stretch. By the way, I should make mention as well, it was a big day for Mike Saunders. He had 3 touchdowns. The former Alouette really ate up his ex-club. Les, when you looked at this football game, the Hamilton Tiger Cats played an inspired contest, and Anthony Calvillo led the way.
Oh, AC's back on track like he was before he got injured. I think he's one heck of a quarterback. He really impressed me when he was with Las Vegas, when he first came in the league as a rookie, and he only threw like maybe 7 interceptions. This kid can run, he can throw the ball, he's excellent. But I tell you what, Hamilton's football team is a team that you cannot say die. These guys will fight till the bitter end. And the Hamilton fans were kind of giving up on them early in the first quarter. I was there at that game, and they were thinking, oh, this is bad. They were down by 14. This team fought back to win this game, and that's an excellent move.
You know what I want to talk about Hamilton? You know, you look at all the kickers around the league, and historically we talk about kickers. They carry their little bag of balls around at practice every day, and nobody kind of pays a lot of attention to them until they have to make a game-winning kick in a big game like it was today. So Darren mentioned second week in a row that Paul Osbaldiston's been able to do this. But in the first quarter of this football game, Charlie Gordon came in to try and block a punt, absolutely annihilated Osbaldiston, and they got a roughing penalty, but he was down. They had to take him off the field. This guy has got courage. He's courageous. He's got guts. And for the second week in a row, and he can act. Second week in a row. I mean, my hat's off to Paul Osbaldiston, having a great year.
Yeah, really.
I think every kicker in the league can act. Hey, how about Glenn
Harper? He wasn't
Harper?
acting on that
No,
one.
he got drilled.
He got smoked.
He did get drilled. And how about Harper running down to recover a punt as well? I made reference that it was the Hall of Fame game because last night 5 gentlemen were inducted into the CFL Hall of Fame. Al Benesick, 10 years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders as an offensive guard and tackle. Jerry Campbell, otherwise known as Soupy, 11 years in the CFL. He got into 1 fight in the Canadian Football League. Guess who we got into it with? Our own Leaf Pedersen. Bill Clark, 14 years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Danny Kepley, our broadcasting colleague, it was a defensive terror with the Edmonton Eskimos. And in the builders category, it was Frank M. Gibson, who was a long-serving member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats and their board of directors. So what happened?
Oh, wait a
Give us
second.
the
I
dirt.
gotta
You and
tell
Soupy, and it's the only fight that you've been in.
That fight was about as quick as the Tyson Selden fight the other night, and I think you could probably tell who won that fight. It was one of those, you've seen all the cartoons. Somebody hit me from behind on an interception. I turned around and I start swinging, and it's like Soupy, just with the hand on my helmet, and I'm just giving it this one. He says, "Leifer, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, geez, this is ridiculous." So that was the end of it. Yeah.
What about the Hall of Fame? Gordon Glenn brought it up. Will we see Les Brown? 87 career interceptions, all time.
Well,
maybe in another 3 years, because in 3 years you will be eligible. You have to be out of the game for 5 years.
I'm not going to bank on going into the Hall of Fame. I'll tell you what, I had a tremendous fun playing this game, and that's enough for me.
Les,
and all the accolades
Les,
too.
you want to bank on it because you are going to be in the Hall of Fame because you have picked off more passes than anybody in CFL history. There, I've given you a little.
There's been a lot of injustices over the course of this league, so let's don't.
I don't bank on
now.
anything, but I tell you what, I had a
got,
great time this weekend with the Hall of Fame greats. They're excellent people to hang out with. We went to. Look at my pen. Get back on my pen.
It broke.
Let me say, we went to the Hall of Fame golf tournament, which was sold out. So if you want to go to it next year, you better get your tickets early. It was an
look at
excellent
this, a commercial.
And and then the Hall of Fame dinner last night. It was an excellent thing to be at. I mean, it was my first time. I had a great time. Thanks for TSN for inviting me. It was an excellent time.
We have to take a short break on that commercial announcement. You're watching the CFL live on TSN. We're back with more in just a moment.
Rough roads, sharp curves. To keep a firm grip on roads like this depends upon your shock absorbers. Look, with a worn-out shock absorber, the wheel leaves the road. But with a new Monroe Sensatrack shock absorber, your tire holds the road. With Monroe Sensatrack, even the most demanding road feels safer. Monroe Sensatrack, making the road a safer place. Have your shocks checked every 20,000 kilometers just to be safe.
Our next game comes to you from Montreal. The Alouettes, home to Ron Lancaster's Edmonton Eskimos. That's Friday, October the 4th. We're on the air at 7:30 Eastern Time. That's 4:30 Pacific Time. And so far, so good for Mr. Lancaster's team. They've got a healthy lead as we head into the second half. For their thoughts on what's transpired so far, let's go to Edmonton. Here's Gordon Glenn. Gentlemen.
Thanks very much, Jaron. Yeah, Edmonton has a healthy lead, but an unhealthy quarterback. More on Danny McManus in a moment. But first, a look at the first half numbers. And Edmonton built up some big numbers in the opening quarter, in particular in this football game. 162 yards passing for Edmonton to 83 for BC. 2 turnovers by the Lions, one of them on downs. Darren Flutie has 2 touchdown receptions in the football game. But Glenn, the big problem for the Edmonton Eskimos is that Danny McManus, their quarterback, was injured on the second touchdown pass to Darren Flutie.
Yeah, Tyrone Chapman comes on the blitz and hits Danny McManus just as he releases the football. Now, the word is they checked his neck at halftime. He was a little groggy going in before the half. We'll see if he returns. Edmonton has to have Danny McManus back in this game.
Got to use your head when you come to the football game. 22-3, Edmonton leads the Lions.
Check out the rippin', twistin', crispin' styling of McCain Super Spirals. Whoa! Seriously twisted fries. McCain starts with its famous super fries, adds a twist, and rolls them in a light-tasting batter. And then a dash of spice for crunch after crunch of super seasoned satisfaction. McCain is twisting, spinning, and jumping your way. McCain Super Crisps and Super Spirals. Seriously twisted fries.
Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, getting set for the opening of the second half. Now, there were all kinds of penalties at the end of the first half, but it appears they were all offsetting, and it looks like all hands are on deck. Gary Zawatsky went after Benny Goods late in the first half, but he's on the sidelines for the BC Lions, so he was not ejected, it would appear.
Yeah, Edmonton's kicking off from the 35-yard line, so it was just offsetting penalties, probably about 8 each.
It never happened, apparently. Apparently, it never happened. So the Edmonton Eskimos opened the second half with a 19-point lead on the Lions. So need a win to stay alive. Kickoff bounces down out of bounds right at the feet of Corey Philpott. And the Lions will have good field position to start the second half. In the first half, the story of this game was touchdowns early from Darren Flutie. Hey, the sun was shining when Danny McManus hit Flutie for this 25-yard score in the first quarter. And a little while later, in the second, it was Eric Blood who eluded the grasp of Shelton Quarles and fought his way to the end zone for the touchdown to expand Edmonton's lead. Then, the play we showed you a moment ago, Darren Flutie working deep, scored his second touchdown of the game. On first down, here comes Corey Philpott. And Philpott with a good job to get to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 5. We have not seen Ronald Williams in the football game thus far.
And that's interesting because I know the coaching staff in BC really likes Ronald Williams, and in the 2 games that Ron Williams played for BC where he actually played the most, like for the whole game, Williams had over 130 yards in both of them. So, you know, Joe Paopau's been platooning Corey Philpott and Ron Williams, but not today.
2nd and 5 for the Lions, who have the win in the third quarter. Damon Allen gets it out to Mike Trevathan, and Trevathan slides ahead to the 54-yard line for a first down. Well, we mentioned Damon Allen started his career here in Edmonton, playing for the Eskimos. In his very first year, last game of the season, bitterly cold. Jackie Parker was the head coach. 5 minutes to go in the game, says to Damon, "You want to play?" And he looked back at him and said, "Are you kidding me?" Forget it.
In all those years, he says, "I can play in the cold now."
Allen slings that ball out to the wide side, right at midfield. Kavis Reed there on the coverage. Larry Thompson comes up with a catch. It'll be just into Edmonton territory at the Eskimo 54-yard line, a pickup of a couple.
You really get the impression that this Edmonton defense basically dictates the game to the opposing team. I mean, Damon Allen's had to throw that wide field out 5 or 6 times in the game because that's all that the Edmonton defense is giving him. I know Damon Allen doesn't want to throw the ball out there. He'd rather throw it down the field. Edmonton won't allow him to do that.
Quick drop again for Allen. They try Thompson on the other side. Thompson gets a couple of blocks, fights his way down to the 47-yard line. He may be just short of a BC first down.
It's going to be half a yard, and I think at this time in the game, I mean, Joe Paopau pretty much has to go for it. He's gambled twice, made it once on a pitch to Philpott in the first half, also was shut down on a gamble with 1 yard, third down. So this is the rubber match, I guess, on the third down gambles.
And one thing we haven't seen Damon Allen do much in this football game is run the football. He might get the call here if he just dives straight ahead, which he does, and Allen has a BC first down.
Yeah, it's interesting, though. You look at Damon Allen and his rushing ability, of course, the all-time leader for quarterbacks in rushing. But if you were to look at his numbers and then say that he played the whole season and continued through, he'd actually have his worst rushing year of his career in BC. If he played the whole season here and you projected those numbers, he'd have just under 600 yards rushing. But he would have had his best year passing. It's interesting.
On first down, here's Ronald Williams trying the left side of the Edmonton defense. Malcolm Frank and Larry Ruck got there quickly to limit the gain, which might be just a couple for the BC Lions.
Well, Joe Paopau was talking about when he did want to run the ball, he wanted to run it up inside against the Edmonton defense, tried to get off tackle a little bit. He felt if he did too many pitches one way or another, the team speed, that Edmonton linebacking core would stop it, and it did there.
How good was that BC defense, or that Saskatchewan defense rather, last week against BC? Ronald Williams was held to 1 yard on 5 carries.
It's been a long season for Saskatchewan's defense there. Playing very well, they're just not getting help offensively.
2nd and 9, Allen to the wide out. Mike Trevathan wide open. Oh, man. Singer Mobley unload on Mike Trevathan on the sideline. Right at the 34-yard line. A pickup of might be just a couple for the BC Lions.
Well, Joe Paopau was talking about when he did want to run the ball, he wanted to run it up inside against the Edmonton defense, tried to get off tackle a little bit. He felt if he did too many pitches one way or another, the team speed
that Edmonton linebacking core would stop it, and it did there.
How good was that BC defense, or that Saskatchewan defense rather, last week against BC? Ronald Williams was held to 1 yard on 5 carries.
Been a long season for Saskatchewan's defense there. Playing very well, they're just not getting help offensively.
2nd and 9, Allen to the wide out. Mike Trevathan wide open. Oh, man. Singer Mobley unload on Mike Trevathan on the sideline. Right at the 34-yard line. A pickup of 9, very close to a first down in that sloppy area down there, and this is what it sounded like.
Yes. That was full speed. Singor Mobley comes across, and I love the game after the game, though. Trevathan gets up, spikes the ball, smiles and laughs, says it didn't hurt him. Singor Mobley saying, yeah, there you go, I just knocked you on your can.
Mike Trevathan might be one of the toughest receivers in the league.
Really is.
There aren't many guys who will go over the middle and reach for balls like he will, and he takes atrocious hits and still hangs on.
Jumps up with a smile.
Yeah.
That makes you mad. When you're defensive back and you hit a receiver as hard as you can, he goes down and the guy gets up smiling. You go, oh.
And the man they call Trap has the first down for the Lions at the Edmonton 34. Allen has time, had time, and is down. Well, I'll tell you what, it looked like he had time to deliver it there, and then Singer Mobley and Melvin Hunter got in there. And Hunter, who leads the league with 12 sacks, might just have himself another one.
By far his best season. Last year, Melvin Hunter had 9 sacks, which to that point was his best year, but he's crushed those numbers. And it was important for the Edmonton defensive line to stay disciplined in their lanes. Little stunt by Melvin Hunter, comes around and in through the gap, and Damon Allen has nowhere to escape.
Now a long way to go for the Lions. 2nd and 19. Larry Thompson was sitting waiting for that ball, but it one hop to him, and we talked about that in the first half. That is that sloppy area of the field on the near side between the 30 and the 50 inside the hash mark.
Yeah, and how many times we've seen it already in this game. I think that both teams better start to see the wetness on the sideline. Both teams better start the game plan to the other side, I think.
I'll tell you what, Robbie Strecker's standing there as the equipment guy for Edmonton. He'll be up to his knees in that mud if he keeps standing there. So Pasaglia will once again have to see what he can do about trying a field goal. This try from the 49-yard line. He's 6 for 10 this year outside the 40-yard line. His longest from 49. The gizmo's back in case he misses it. Got it, just enough. Good thing the laces were pointing up or it wouldn't have made it. Lou Pasaglia puts a 49-yarder through, and the Lions inch still closer. Now down 22-6 in Edmonton.
Play Safeway's Touchdown to Win. If your name appears below, you may have won a TriStar packing case by Skyway Luggage with practical features and modern-day innovations for today's experienced travelers. Skyway Luggage, quality and durability for over 85 years. Or Minolta Compact Zoom Binoculars, a convenient zoom lever lets you locate a subject at low power, then examine it in detail. Minolta high performance at an economical price. Touchdown to Win ballots, available exclusively at all participating Safeway stores.
Check out the rippin', twistin', crispin' styling of McCain Super Spirals. Whoa! Seriously twisted fries. McCain starts with its famous super fries, adds a twist, and rolls them in a light-tasting batter. And then a dash of spice for crunch after crunch of super seasoned satisfaction. McCain is twisting, spinning, and jumping your way. McCain Super Crisps and Super Spirals. Seriously twisted fries.
Back in Edmonton, this was action from the second quarter. Danny McManus throwing a touchdown pass to Darren Flutie. And McManus took a shot at the end of the play from Tyrone Chapman. Down to Ken Chillibeck for the latest on McManus.
Thank you very much, Gord. I just talked to Dr. Reed as he walked by here just moments ago. He said he has been sent to the hospital for x-rays, so obviously a little bit more concern over Danny McManus' injury. It is some neck problems, so he's been sent to the hospital for x-rays. Back to you, Gord.
And that would be far more serious. Cody Ledbetter directs the attack for the Eskimos. He did not complete a pass in the first half. Gives it off to Eric Blunt, and Blunt dives ahead to the 38-yard line. A pickup of 3. Dave Chaters made the stop. We've seen this before. Danny McManus was injured in a game we were doing earlier this year and having his best game as an Edmonton Eskimo. That was against Calgary. And his last 3 drives went for touchdowns.
Well, in the last 3 games we mentioned in the opening, McManus hadn't thrown an interception and was over 400 yards, was really playing his best football and just has had some bad luck with injury.
Second and long. Ledbetter, quick drop. And it is batted down at the line of scrimmage.
I mean, sometimes you call knockdowns in football. In basketball...
That was a dunk.
Yeah, in basketball it's called the rejection.
Yeah.
And David Mieva went up and rejected this 3-point shot from Cody Ledbetter. Hey, look at this.
Get that out of here.
Way up there. In your face, buddy. Down it goes.
In basketball, they say, don't bring that in here. And now an injured BC Lion on the play.
Tyrone Rogers looks like he's down. Johnny Scott was injured in the first half and is back in the lineup. He's right in the middle of your screen right here. We'll try and follow him and see what happens. Tyrone Rogers gets cut. Ed Cusi goes down and cut him. Could be like a thigh bruise. Cusi hits it and gets that helmet right on the thigh. Tyrone Rogers.
And Rogers getting...
They're holding his head still, though.
Well, I think they're checking his right knee. 9:15 to play here in the third quarter. The Edmonton Eskimos with a 22-6 lead in a hard-hitting game at Commonwealth Stadium.
You didn't pay.
They never do. Now Snickers is even more peanuts. Tons of them.
Feel the power of the NFL by wearing Starter, authentic NFL merchandise, and watch the power on TSN with NFL Sunday Night Football. It's your chance to win an Air Canada vacation trip for 4 to Miami to catch the Dolphins and Steelers November 25th, or one of 60 Starter authentic Pro-Line NFL products. Ballots available at Starter authorized dealers. Call 1-800-NFL 3978 for a dealer near you. Watch Sunday Night NFL action on TSN. Look for the star, fill out the ballot, and mail in for a chance.
22-6 Edmonton leads. Tyrone Rogers was able to limp off the football field and now receives attention on the bench. And it is getting a little darker here in Edmonton and a little colder.
Can we do the rest of the game from underneath that blanket?
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. You know what? I'm going to shred up some lettuce and put it through the bars of your cage. Because you know what you are? You are a hamster. You have the intestinal fortitude of a hamster.
Old here in Edmonton.
My girlfriend's cat is tougher than you. Glenn Harper's punt is blowing back towards him. Picked up by Robert Davis, who scoots out of bounds at the 51-yard line.
Yeah.
That punt was coming back to Harper.
Well, and Glenn Harper recovered a punt in the first half, but that time he kind of tiptoed because he looked out of the side of his helmet and saw Andre Strode lining him up and didn't go in after that football.
That'll teach him to hustle down. He recovered one of his own punts in the first half. I'll tell you, we can really feel the wind picking up here in Edmonton.
Well, that ball could cut him. Now, here comes Harper. Now, he went after the last one. Now, he sees Andre Strode there and goes, I'll just wait back here by the sideline. A little safer.
Damon Allen on play action. And gets it to Larry Thompson. I'm not sure if that was for Matt Clark or Larry Thompson, but Thompson makes the catch and has a pickup of 7. Now, Glenn, we could close the window if you'd like. You know, because Leaf Pedersen sometimes had the window closed, but, you know, Leaf's in the Worm studio. If you want us to close the window, we will.
Get off me, man. I'm okay.
Boy, it's only September.
I got the vest on. I'm all right.
Second down, 3 yards to go. The Lions at the Edmonton 52. The toss goes to Philpott. And Philpott is able to get the first down yardage. Willie Pless was all over him on the play, as was Errol Martin. But I think Philpott got there. Yes, he did.
Willie Pless showed great quickness to get out there, but
Philpott, one of the best in the business, trying to get to the outside, and just got enough outside leverage on Willie Pless to pick up the first down.
Well, you know, the Lions score a touchdown on this drive, and suddenly we've got an interesting football game.
Oh, no question. Danny McMahon is getting x-rays. This wave's very cool.
Allen steps up, throws it deep, has a man, Thompson. He's got the ball, down to the 10. Kavis Reed moved up on the football, and it went over his head. Larry Thompson makes the catch, and the gain is 38.
Larry Thompson ran an out and up on Benson Donaldson in Saskatchewan for a huge game and does a little hitch and go here against a good corner in Kavis Reed. Thompson doesn't necessarily have great breakaway speed, but boy, is he a smooth pass route runner. He'll trick you. Trent Brown comes across. Not quite time to knock that one out of there.
Funny you'd say he doesn't have great breakaway speed, because he told me that in off-season workouts against you, he beat you every time.
That was just to build his confidence. I let him do that.
First down from the 11. Allen. Here comes Leroy Blue. And down goes Allen. Leroy Blue was just standing there like a bear. And David Allen had nowhere to go.
But Leroy Blue right now is saying to himself, I got lucky there. I got lucky there. He's on the left sideline right here. He's going to come up, and it's a one-on-one with one of the toughest guys in the game to bring down Damon Allen, and he got lucky and got the slip, and when he saw it, he got in there as soon as he could to not give him a second chance.
Loss was 5.
But they all count, and that's number 11 for 89.
Quarterback draw. And Allen gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and his buddy Leroy Blue was with him step for step again, and Lou Pasaglia and the field goal unit come on for BC. Pasaglia has accounted for all of the BC points, except for the safety they gave up on.
Edmonton running the stunt. Leroy Blue folds underneath and just reads the play perfectly. A little bit easier to tackle Damon Allen in the crowd like that. The play before that, when you're one-on-one with nothing but field around you, it's a lot more difficult.
Safety in numbers, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Pasaglia will try the field goal from the 17-yard line. He has not missed inside the 20 this year. And Pasaglia puts it through. The BC Lions are creeping closer. Now trailing the Edmonton Eskimos 22-9 with 5:46 to play in the third quarter.
Presented Cheese Stringers. Reel it, feel it. Go ahead and twist it. Rock it, roll it. Too good to resist it. Cheese Stringers. Cane Stringers. Press it. Swing it. Knowing you can beat it. Swirl it, whirl it. Come on and McCain Stringers. Real peelable cheese so good you gotta eat it.
When you were a kid in Edmonton, you either wore number 12 or number 10. I like to wear number 12. Tom Wilkinson's name was the first to go up on the Edmonton Eskimo Wall of Honor, and we're delighted to welcome him upstairs with us. Now the proud head coach of the Alberta Golden Bears. Big winners over the #1 team in the nation yesterday, the Saskatchewan Huskies. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. The kids played really well.
Here, it's the Edmonton Eskimos leading BC 22-9 in the third quarter. Loose football. Cody Ledbetter in at quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos, and mishandled the snap from center and got bent into the shape of a pretzel. A couple of years ago, there were questions about Alberta football. Would they or would they not take the field? Yesterday afternoon, you had more than 2,000 fans at your game. You're undefeated. This is quite a turnaround.
Well, yeah, it's a great year, but, you know, it's only half over, and the kids have played really well, and we've got a lot of new coaches this year, and everything's up-tempo and trying to be a team, and we had a good test yesterday. Either team could have won, but I think we showed that maybe we're getting a little bit better.
Ledbetter under pressure, trying to get away, and he is dropped at the 30-yard line. Tyrone Chapman got to him. Now, you know, Tom, you played here in Edmonton for a long time. You know, look at you. You got like an open neck shirt, light. Look at Glenn Suter. He's got like the heavy vest on. You know, how do you do it? You know.
Well, you stay a little bit fat because it keeps you warm in the wintertime, but you're just used to it, you know, and it really isn't that bad of a day. I don't know. DBs never could take too much, you know.
No, they never were much for punishment. Tell me something. You know, you're the head coach now and a successful one in the CIU. Who had the biggest influence on you as a head coach?
I would say Huey Campbell. I had a lot of coaches. I was fortunate enough to play football for a long, long time. But I just liked Huey's philosophy that you went out and the team was important and you only won as a team. And it just, I think it made playing a lot more fun.
Here's Robert Davis from the 40-yard line, trying to run around the corner. Mike Sellers got hammered there, but it's a 39-yard punt, a return of 6. We were talking yesterday about all the players that have gone from BC to Edmonton and vice versa. There's been a lot of movement. You're one of them, right? 1970?
72. Bob Howes and myself. Donnie Warrington came over here a little bit before that. Larry Highbaugh, Swamp Dog. There was quite a few that came from there, and you know, on myself they made the right decision, but to let me go. But some of the other ones I think they should have kept.
First down Lions from their own 45. Allen for Thompson. And Larry Thompson, quickly becoming his favorite receiver, has the catch up to the 48-yard line. His 7th catch of the game.
So I got a question for the quarterback. What about the 96 version of this Edmonton Eskimo team? Is this good enough team to go all the way?
I think it is. You know, there's been a lot of criticism of Danny McManus. And you know, when things aren't going too well, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the league, you start to put a little bit of pressure on yourself. But the last 2 or 3 games, he started out good, and I think he's a good quarterback and can help this team win.
Second and long. Oh, look out! Mike Trevathan ran into, in order, Singor Mobley, Trent Brown, and Willie Pless. 3-on-1. It was a wall of green.
And guess what? He got up smiling again.
And made the catch. He is tough.
Just runs a little slant pattern, and here comes Pless, Trent Brown,
boom,
Mobley. 3 hats. Right to the chest of Trevathan. Gets up, says, you didn't even hurt me. You had 3. You didn't hurt me.
Trevathan comes up a yard short of a first down. The Lions will gamble right from midfield. 3rd and a yard. They were stuffed earlier in the first half. That time they gave it to Sean Millington. Play action pass. Allen gets it out there for Ronald Williams. What a gutsy call. Williams is down to the 40-yard line. Davis Reed made the stop, a 15-yard gain. Even you are shaking your head, Tom Wilkinson.
Well, that was a gutsy call, and Damon really made a good play because he had to dodge a guy coming in on the pass rush to be able to get the ball downfield, and they made a great reception on it.
Yeah, it certainly was. Mike Sellers right in Damon Allen's face, not for his athletic ability. That one's dead in the water.
Now 1st and 10 for the Lions. 2:20 to play in the 3rd quarter. They trail the game by 13. Allen has time. On the run, gets it to Matt Clark standing at the sidelines, out of bounds at the 33-yard line. And you know what? I think Andy, our audio guy who got crunched in the first half, got hit again.
What did the audio guy say to the BC Lions? The first time was Trevathan hit him, this time was Clark.
Wow.
This is more like the Damon Allen we're used to seeing, getting outside the pocket, finds Clark on the sideline. Here comes the hit on Andy.
Whoa, look out. That was a camera went down there too. Holy smokes. Oh, the high-tech stuff down there, Tommy.
He must have been a DB too.
Second down. Almost intercepted. Look out. Melvin Hunter got his hands on that, and he is still running. But as it is, the Lions are snuffed out on second down. Well, we have a moment, Tom. A former teammate of yours inducted into the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame today, Dan Kepley. I'm sure you're pleased to see that.
Well, there's a lot of guys here that are would really like to congratulate him. Al Watt, what's the equipment guy's name? Dwayne Mandrusiak, Huey Campbell, and myself aren't any of them. But no, I'll tell you what, since I've been in the league, to me that is the best linebacker that's played in the CFL, and I'm really happy for him, and I'd love to have been there to help him celebrate the honor that it is. But we were playing a game yesterday, and if Kep's it all around, congratulations, buddy. You really deserved it.
Lou Pasaglia puts the field goal through, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point game, and the Lions are going to feel like they've got some life here.
Well, yeah, I mean, with Danny McManus being out, there hasn't been a lot of offense happening. I really think it's up to the line, but everybody else to pick their game up. But the offensive line has to help the young quarterback out by making some holes and giving him second and shorts instead of second longs.
Tom, Cody Ledbetter threw a touchdown pass in his first CFL game. Do you remember your first CFL game?
I do. My very first pass was an interception. My very last pass in the CFL was an interception.
Started the way it finished.
First down for Ledbetter. Here comes the rush, gets it off over the middle. And Mark Tobert, a graduate of the University of Alberta, makes the catch. And Tobert, who is telling anyone who will listen how good the Alberta Golden Bears are these days, has the catch up at the 41-yard line.
Tobert having his best season by far. He had 336 yards coming into the game, and I think back to the game that Edmonton came back and won. Tobert, a key factor in that last drive with Cody Ledbetter.
I haven't seen him drop very many. He's a very good receiver and got good speed.
Ledbetter, quick throw, looking for Darren Flutie. And the pass is over his head, incomplete. And Eddie Brown was wide open, and Brown is telling anyone who will listen just how wide open he was.
Yeah.
So Ledbetter will make his way out the field.
Darren Flutie scored a touchdown on the same type of defensive scheme that BC showed him right there, but it was Danny McManus that delivered the throw. That time Flutie, Eddie Brown, and the rest of that receiving core were open to the inside, and Cody Ledbetter just couldn't get him the football.
Well, the good thing about it, though, was that he read it right. And he might have thrown it a little bit high that time, but the next time they do it, all he's got to do is get it down. He did read it right, and I think that's a really good sign.
Low snap to Glenn Harper. Gets the kick away. This is Robert Davis from the 35-yard line. Davis running the outside. Big hit down there. Listen to that. Holy smokes. And before the football game, Larry Ruck usually likes to have a little game of hacky sack. Well, it's a little different so when you're as big as Larry Ruck is. They use a football.
No, wait a minute, but isn't the idea to get the ball in the air? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there's Trent Brown.
Trent Brown with the nice hat.
Yeah, Jed Roberts.
Not bad.
I think that's Bruce Dixon. Look at these guys. Look at these guys.
Jed Roberts, Bruce Dixon. Little header there. Dixon gave it up.
Now, if you're really tough, you use a medicine ball.
I think it was just to stay warm today.
Will you stop it with that? Wilkie and I are fine. 1st and 10 from the 40. Should be the final play of the quarter. Allen sidearms, and he was looking there for Mike Trevathan. And I think the Eskimos have figured it out. Trevathan was surrounded by 4 Edmonton players. Our thanks to Tom Wilkinson for joining us here. Congratulations, Tom, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, Gord. As far as the team goes, all that we're trying to do is just get a little bit better each week.
Thanks, Tom. Best of luck to you. Stand by now for the guys at our CFL Control Center.
CFL Live at the Quarter, brought to you by Gillette's $250,000 Triple Play Challenge at a retailer near you.
Boy, Tom Wilkinson is a class act, and he was a great quarterback in the Canadian Football League. Maybe they could warm him up because Cody is not having a lot of success in this football game, Les.
Well, Cody Ledbetter's only claim to fame was that last-second touchdown against Calgary, in which I don't think it was really his claim to fame. If it wasn't for Edmonton's defense playing so tough and not letting Calgary score, he wouldn't have had that opportunity. Now they're up 22 points. I mean, they were up 22-0 at halftime, basically. I think that's a good thing to throw Cody Ledbetter in there. I think the defense will hold them. Right now, they're not giving up any touchdowns. They're giving up field goals, bending but not breaking.
It really is amazing, Les, what happens to this team when they lose Danny McManus. Leaf, you mentioned that you thought Edmonton was the best team in the West. Not without McManus, of course.
I qualified.
Yeah.
Yes,
and Calgary must be so relieved right now. If Danny McManus is out for an extended period of time, Calgary wins the division.
And I hope Danny's okay.
Yeah.
Well, if he's not, they are in trouble. I mean, we did qualify that statement.
Yes,
I mean, I think you look at Edmonton Eskimos, clearly now they're back to where they were at the beginning of the year, where they have to play good special teams and they have to play well on defense to win games. They got a lead going into the fourth quarter. They got a 10-point lead. And you would think the best defense in the league can maybe hold them. They do have to get a little break from their offense. I mean, no points in the third quarter, but hey, I mean, we can sit here and dump on Cody Ledbetter all day. I mean, he's not a great quarterback, and that's not who they want in there, but he's in there, and so they have to deal with the hand they have.
And defenses are supposed to stop you. That's their job.
Well, gentlemen, we'll see if the Edmonton Eskimos D can do it. Let's return to the fourth quarter as we head back to Commonwealth Stadium. Here's Gordon Glenn. Gentlemen?
Yeah, back here in balmy Edmonton, the Eskimos lead BC 22-12. I'm Gord Miller along with a shivering Glenn Suter.
I just find hard to believe. No, the only smart guy up here.
You played in Saskatchewan, for heaven's sake. 2nd and 10 for the Lions from their own 40-yard line. Over the top, and Malcolm Frank had the first receiver, Ted Alford, well covered, and Mike Trevathan running deep had the ball bounce at his feet. Let's go down to Ken Chillivan.
Okay, thank you very much. Just talking to Sean Millington, his left knee is hurting. They've taped it up. He's on the sidelines. He's not going out to the next set of plays. Joe Pawpaw said, "You okay?" He says, "I'll be okay." He says, hopefully he can get him back in the game. Guys?
Thanks very much, Ken. And, of course, knee injury is a part of Sean Millington's pass. Last year, his season was ended when he ruptured the patellar tendon, the tendon that holds the kneecap in place, and he missed the rest of the season.
Took him a whole offseason to rehabilitate that knee injury, and
I believe it was the left knee. Bisaglia to punt. Here comes the rush. Louis gets it away. Gizmo from the 36. Steps out of bounds quickly at the 42-yard line. So as we begin the fourth quarter, let's show you what's happened through 3. And the Lions held the ball for 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes actually, in the third quarter, and have more net yards than the Edmonton Eskimos. This game different than all the other games the Lions have played this season. In all their previous games, the Lions had held the lead at least once. They have not led today.
well, key for Edmonton there, no turnovers. They had that problem early in the season, but in that third quarter, Cody Ledbetter was 2 and out. That's why the time of possession is in BC's favor.
Ledbetter starts first down. And play action for Eric Blunt, and Cody Ledbetter got caught with the ball by 5 BC Lions.
Yeah, and I think Cody Ledbetter made the mistake because he wanted to give the ball. The play was designed to go to Eric Blunt on the draw play. It was set up perfectly. The lineman pulled out, everything was set up and executed well, except for Cody Ledbetter didn't give Blunt the ball. You see 35 leaking out there. He had lots of running room. Ledbetter kept the ball in his hand and got sacked.
Well, Cody's doing a good job cutting the grass here in Commonwealth, though, isn't he? Second down, look out, here comes the rush. Oh, man, they're throwing the kitchen sink. And the crowd's booing him.
Yeah, I gotta say something about Cody Ledbetter though. In that game, when he played against the Calgary Stampeders, he showed tremendous poise in a very important football game and won it for this team. Now he went in against Hamilton, didn't play well, but this is a young football player. I mean, he's thrown into the mix, and he's got guys like Tyrone Chapman that are going to send the house. I mean, BC defense is going to send the house on the rookie, and Chapman is one of the best at the blitzing linebacker position, comes up and makes a sack, but Cody Ledbetter is a young guy. Let's give him a break here.
Tough fans here in Edmonton. The guy, quarterback, should have win over Calgary. What a great young guy. He's the toast of the town. 3 weeks later, he gets sacked and they boo him.
Yeah.
Harper's punt taken by Robert Davis at the 36-yard line. And Davis is buried by Jed Roberts, one of those aforementioned hacky sack players. And he just played hacky sack with Robert Davis. 12:52 to play in the fourth quarter. Edmonton leads by 10. You're watching the CFL Live.
McCain Pizza Pockets are ready. Are you ready for a chance to win one of 100 Sony PlayStations, the world's hottest video game system, equipped with the awesome new action game Crash Bandicoot, or one of 500 Oasis CDs? Every time you buy your favorite tasting McCain Pizza Pockets with this special flash on the pack, check inside to see if you've won. It's your chance to win a Sony PlayStation with Crash Bandicoot or an Oasis CD. McCain Pizza Pockets are ready. Are you?
Whoa. CFL Live on TSN. Brought to you in part by Pepsi. Nothing else is a Pepsi. And by Advantage Long Distance Services, from the Alliance of Canada's only full-service telecommunications companies.
Back at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, Jed Roberts has made his living for 7 years doing this.
Covering down on kicks and punts, and Jed Roberts, one of the best in the game at it, does a nice job of chasing down Robert Davis.
You know, it's amazing to think about. In the old days in the Canadian football, you couldn't block on kick returns. You couldn't block anybody on a kick return, so guys like Jed Roberts could just tee off on you. First down, BC. Damon Allen back and throwing has Mike Trevathan. And Trevathan gets bent the way you're not meant to and has to catch up at the 35-yard line.
You know, you got to think that the BC Lions are thinking with the lack of success that Cody Ledbetter has had, that they've got to be licking their chops thinking, we can take advantage of this if we can only move the football,
Yeah,
but
well.
they're playing against a pretty darn good defense that only allows 17.2 points a game. Well, Edmonton already has 22 points. If they stay with their average, Edmonton wins.
Damon Allen, 12 for 16 here in the second half. Second down. Allen, whoops.
Pass rush by Leroy Blue.
Again.
Yeah, well, that was the key to the play. I mean, Leroy Blue comes off the corner. He's right down here. He's going to come off the corner on Damon Allen. Damon Allen just can't, you can't throw it through him. Here he comes. So he has to redirect the throw, and it goes way incomplete.
Yeah, he missed by a good bunch there.
Yeah.
As that coach said, I used it the other night, his strength was good, his toward was off. Booming kick by Fasaglia.
Returnable.
Yeah, here comes the gizmo. Oh, don't get the face mask. Jumping down there to help make the tackle for the Lions, Kelly Sims and Mark Pimisker. 11:46 to play in the fourth. You're watching the CFL live from Edmonton.
Check out the rippin', twistin', crispin' styling of McCain Super Spirals. Wow! Seriously twisted fries. McCain starts with its famous super fries, adds a twist, and rolls them in a light-tasting batter. And then a dash of spice for crunch after crunch of super seasoned satisfaction. McCain is twisting, spinning, and jumping your way. McCain Super Crisps and Super Spirals. Seriously twisted fries.
Back in Edmonton, let's see.
Hey, wait a minute,
Johnny
that's
Scott.
my pen.
Hey, quiet there. Johnny Scott, there's Johnny Scott. There, who's that there? That's Ken Chillibeck. Ken, we just circled you. What do you got?
Circle me in there, right. Injury problems. Johnny Scott is injured a calf muscle. Not only that, but Virgil Robertson had his bell rung. He doesn't even know where he's at right now. I was going to talk to him, but he kind of looked around. Well, maybe not this time. They're hurting on defense right now.
Eric Blunt on the carry. Blunt slides his way out to the 35-yard line. It'll be 3 yards short of a first down. The Edmonton Eskimos have 4 2-and-outs in the second half. 2 plays and out, and no first downs to show here in the second half.
Apparently Ron Lancaster just heard the report from the sidelines because that's exactly where he ran the football with Eric Blunt on that play, right where Virgil Robertson and Johnny Scott line up. And Eric Blunt got a pretty good gain on it.
That telestrator's kind of fun.
I want to know if Leaf has this problem. Like 2 or 3 times a game, you want to steal the pen.
I tell you what, Leaf builds a fence around that thing. You can't get near him. That's Leaf steal. Low snap, flags are down. They give it off to Willie Pless. Pless is stopped short, but I think the Lions were offside.
Someone in that line, in the interior part of that defensive line for BC jumped. Whether or not he was drawn is a question.
Offside, BC 91.
See, when you're dealing with the Matisse of telestrators like Leaf, you don't dare touch the instruments, but you know. And that penalty gives the Edmonton Eskimos their first down of the second half. That's football right there. And then
you gotta love it. You just saw a great look at Tyrone Rogers' helmet is almighty. Cody Ledbetter's got grass all over his. And obviously, it's Leaf. I gotta ask Leaf if you mess with his telestrator. Leaf, are you there?
I'm here.
Does he mess with the telestrator like he did there?
I'll tell you one thing. If he gets his hand near it, he's going to lose it.
Here's Eric Blunt with the carry. Out to the 48-yard line. There's a flag down. See, I know better to do with Leaf.
Now I know, though.
Glenn, you don't let children play with expensive equipment.
Gotcha. Now I know, and that's it.
Edmonton 67.
He won't touch it again.
Now I got Leaf and Glenn here. Two guys. Leaf, you're in the studio. You're probably cold.
I got my gloves on.
Actually turned out to be not a bad day here, but the downfield coat. One big Leaf, you never wore a downfield coat in the booth.
And never will.
Hey, that's not a bad look.
Look at these guys.
They got the blanket. Well, I learned now, though. You're not getting the telestrator again.
The Eskimos backed up to their own 30-yard line now. Ledbetter looking for Darren Flutie, makes the catch and has the first down up to the 54-yard line. Great throw by Cody Ledbetter.
Well, wait a minute. What happened to the Bluebirds?
Yeah.
That's a pretty nice throw by Cody Ledbetter. Darren Flutie's going to get open for his young quarterback. Does a pretty nice job on the quarter pattern running on Kelly Sims. Gets the separation, but Ledbetter threw that ball perfect.
Flutie over 100 yards receiving now, 4 catches for 107 yards. By the way, if Ledbetter was to get hurt, Darren Flutie would come in at quarterback for Edmonton.
That's why he got open. He doesn't want that to happen.
Eric Blunt slides his way up to midfield, a pickup of maybe a yard.
Eric Blunt's one of the best at cutting on a dime. I love the way he...
Yeah, but the dime's wet.
But the dime's soaking wet, and it's awful tough to cut on one when it's as wet as that one, and muddy. Most of the time in this kind of condition, you'll get the 3/4-inch cleats, and I believe that's what Eric Blunt's wearing, but I'll tell you what, 3/4 inch isn't long enough for this.
I'll tell you what, you better use finishing nails today.
Yeah.
2nd and 9 for midfield. Look out, Thomas Rayam got a jump there. Flags all over the place. The Eskimos will be forced to back up.
Yeah, well, BC was in that defense where they put everyone on the line of scrimmage. Thomas Rayam saw it. Last time they did it...
Illegal procedure, Edmonton 55.
Last time BC did it, David Mieva came up with a big stop on a 2nd down play, and that time Thomas Rayam wanted to get a jump and not allow that blitz to get there.
By the way, we were talking about the weather. I was talking to Cody Ledbetter before the game, and I was saying, you find this cold. He said the Calgary game 3 weeks ago was the coldest game he'd ever played in. It was 5 degrees Celsius. I said, are you kidding me?
Just wait. Wait till he gets the 40 below dry cold in Edmonton.
Ledbetter wants to sling it deep. Eddie Brown's running under it. And it falls incomplete. Brandon Hamilton was with him step for step. Now, who's got a case there?
I think the fans do. They're booing. I usually go with the defensive back. If there's any chance that I can go with the defensive back, I will. But I believe Brandon Hamilton may have got away with one. Here's Hamilton here. Eddie Brown just going to take off down the sideline on him. If it happens late in the play, you watch, they're pretty good coverage right now. Now, there's no penalties so far. Right there, though, he's got both hands and hasn't looked back to the ball. Had both hands on Eddie Brown, and I think he had an argument.
Robert Davis back to receive the kick from Glenn Harper. Under 9 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. 10-point Edmonton lead. Harper gets a good high kick away. Davis at the 17-yard line. Lost the ball. Oh, man, did he get hit? Mike Sellers, who blocked a punt earlier, just dropped a load of bricks on Robert Davis.
Wow, we've got the injury report. Danny McManus is getting x-rays. The hitting is unbelievable in this football game.
Man, head-to-head they go in a 10-point Edmonton game. The CFL Live returns when we get our senses back right after this.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss.
Hi, I'm Pat Tabler. TSN has all the bases covered for next month's baseball playoffs. We'll preview the first round matchups and give you the inside pitch on the keys to victory. Don't miss the road to the 96 World Series on TSN.
Joe Powell. The Lions are trying to put the BC back in BC Lions, and Powell and some of his players took some young kids out for dinner last night. Some native kids from Prince Rupert, BC, who took the bus to get here, and that's a major hike. Mike Trevate then among those who was there. And these kids are going to be a guest of the Lions at the November 2nd BC home game, the final home game of the season. There's Sean Millington talking to some of the young kids who are actually staying in our hotel, and each one of them has a hat full of autographs. Couldn't be happier about it. Nice thing by the BC Lions.
And each one of them has a smile on their face like that for the last 2 days.
Damon Allen up over the middle looking for Matt Clark, well covered by Derek Beattie. I thought the line of the week was Joe Powell. People were talking about all the problems the Lions have had on and off the field this year. He says, hey, we're 3-1 under Price Waterhouse. maybe Price Waterhouse will end up being the CFL Executive of the Year if the Lions get into the playoffs. And there's a young fella who's just, it's just too much.
Yeah.
You have the hot dog at halftime, the hot chocolate.
Cuddled up there with a nice toque on. I don't want to get one of those too.
You probably take that from the kid.
Yeah.
Second and 10 for the Lions. Allen throws it back and hits Melvin Hunter with it. I can honestly say this is the first game I've ever seen where a defensive lineman should have had 2 interceptions.
Well, Melvin Hunter had one slip to his fingers earlier in the game. He has 1 interception already on the season. Of course, leads the league in sacks. I guess he just wants it all. Lead the league in interceptions, knockdowns, sacks. He's right on the right side of your screen right here. He comes up unblocked. Damon Allen rolls to his left when he spins around and runs right into the big game Melvin Hunter.
Here comes Fasaglia to kick it. Gizmo is the lone man back in midfield. And the Lions do a good job that time. A 32-yard punt, a return of 3. And Cody Ledbetter comes on for the Edmonton Eskimos. 7:52 to play in the 4th quarter. And there's the difference, the first half to the second.
Well, you heard Tom Wilkinson talk about Cody Ledbetter and made a couple of the right reads, but there's 2 phases to it. You have to make the decision, and then you have to execute the play. Danny McManus in the first half did both well. Cody Ledbetter's 1 for 2. He's making the right decisions. This hasn't executed quite.
I like him, though. He's got a great chance to be a good player.
He sure does.
Got the right temperament. First down, he's going to throw. He's going to throw it deep for Darren Flutie. Oh, here comes the flag. Flutie made the catch. Darren Flutie makes an unbelievable catch on a play where pass interference was called.
Second time on the Flutie touchdown. Andre Strode interfered with them. Flutie fought through it and still came up with the catch and the touchdown. You're going to see the deep ball. Flutie lays out with 1 arm. Pulls him off the turf almost.
BC number 8. Penalty is declined.
They gave him the catch. 5 for 149 yards for Flutie. That was a 42-yard gain. Wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered. Either way, that ball was going to be right where it is right now, but it matters in Flutie's stats. And in Ledbetter's stats.
First and goal, Edmonton from the 10. Ledbetter to the end zone. Flutie. Touchdown! You gotta be kidding me. Darren Flutie, in his last 7 games, has made 37 catches. He had only 1 touchdown catch in his last 7 games. He's got 3 this afternoon. The Lions are arguing he didn't make the catch in the end zone. We'll show it to you in a moment. I'll tell you what. Sean Fleming puts the point after up and good. The Eskimos have a 29-12 lead With 6:56 to play in the fourth quarter.
You know, going back in that Calgary game when Cody Ledbetter was struggling and they did end up winning, Darren Flutie went in and said, listen, I don't care if I'm covered or not, just throw me the football, I'll come up with the catch for you. And I'm sure he said the same thing to the quarterback here because he is well covered, but Cody Ledbetter throws it 1, 2, 3 shots. That is definitely a catch. Ledbetter has taken a hit almost every time he's thrown the football. Robert Davis hits him there. Just lays it out. And here's the play just before that, where again, Ledbetter just lays it down the field and lets his star receiver go after it. Got credit for one that maybe pulled off the turf there, but 2 unbelievable catches. And on both catches, he just used that right hand to get him started.
Those glass cutter's gloves that he wears. See those gloves that he wears?
Yep.
Jeff Farrell was the first to wear them. And they sure do make the difference, don't they?
Oh, yeah, those things are unbelievable. Even when they get wet, they're great.
Cody Ledbetter with his 3rd CFL touchdown pass. They've all come in the month of September. Here comes Torrey Philpott. Philpott out to the 36-yard line. So the Lions in a deeper hole now, down 17 points. Two plays, 52 yards, just like that. The scoring drive brought to you by Valvoline and Darren Flutie with the 10-yard catch. You know, you think about that game 3 weeks ago against Calgary.
I knew you were going to pull that one because they were bringing. They're bringing a halfback every time on first down. Yeah. I looked at my face mask giving away, but you know I was.
That game against Calgary, Ron Lancaster smiled at it when he came in for the last drive. And now the Eskimos are smiling. Damon Allen sacked by Willie Pless, Benny Goods, and Errol Martin. But I think Pless will get credit.
That'll be Willie Pless' 6th sack of the year. You know, when you get a little momentum, this defense gets even tougher to beat. They're going to send a little pressure, and Damon Allen has no chance to get this football off. By the time he catches it in the shotgun, Willie Pless is right in his face, and there's no way he can get that football off.
Well, the one thing about having a great defense, the game will never get out of reach, will it?
Well, you know, Lee talked about it at halftime. I mean, this is a team that for the first half of the season, the defense kept them in every single game because offensively they were terrible.
Allen under pressure. Pless is hunting him down. Allen gets there for the first down up to the 50-yard line. And the fans in this stadium have seen this before.
For the most part, he was wearing the other shirt, though. And they were cheering it when he took off. And now, of course, with the BC Lions, I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen Damon Allen do more of it. I mean, he's most effective when he takes off and run. You know, Joe Paupa put in all these new formations for this game because of the great Edmonton defense, but I'm not so sure you just stay in split backs and let Damon Allen drop back and take off when he finds his seam.
First down BC from the Lions' 49-yard line. Allen over the middle and incomplete. He was looking there for Ted Alford, and Malcolm Frank was there on the coverage.
Ron Lancaster thinks he has maybe the best 2 corners in the league. Kavis Reed on one side has 6 interceptions. Malcolm Frank does not have one, but he loves the way he can cover, and it allows that Edmonton defense to send more linebackers. When you have great corners like Malcolm Frank, who can play man-to-man defense, come up with the big knockdowns like he did there on Larry Thompson, and there's Kavis Reed on the other side. You can send more pressure. Your corners are always out to dry.
Second down. Up over the middle and incomplete. Frank was there on the coverage again. Ted Alford finds it go incomplete. Now, you and Les Brown, both ex-defensive backs, are always talking about how DBs never get their due. Malcolm Frank's having a great year. Glenn Rogers leads the league with 7 interceptions. No defensive back has ever been named the CFL's outstanding defensive player.
That's a crime.
I can't believe I'm giving you fuel for the fire, but I can't believe that.
That is a crime. I mean, let me tell you this. If the defensive back gets beat, which is something a lot of guys don't consider, the lights go on. And also, if you're having a good year as a defensive back, you got to consider that too. You get by you, it's 6 points.
Low snap to Bisaglia and a low kick that bounces to the gizmo. And Henry Williams contained pretty well by the Lions, led by Stephen Glenn, who comes down to make the stop. Next up for us on TSN next Friday, the Edmonton Eskimos and the Montreal Alouettes, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. Tracy Ham, a former Eskimo quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes, and they lost on the last play of the game today to the Hamilton Ticats, a game that had interesting playoff ramifications as the Hamilton Ticats improved their record to 7-7, and I boldly predict that a man named Dunnigan will be a factor down the stretch.
I hope so. Hate to see him wrap up his career in this kind of way. I'd like to see him come out and play and end it on his own terms.
Here it is, Tony Burse, the fullback. And look at Tony Burse. Up to the 52-yard line and a trail of Lions in his wake.
Yeah, this was the runaway train. Tony Burse, 240 pounds, and he just takes on the whole BC Lion defense. A couple tackles missed there, breaks through that bunch. Now look at this. Here's a bunch of DBs trying to grab onto him. Tom Europe trying to grab him, pull him down to the ground. Robert Davis gets the worst of that one as Burse rolls onto him. That guy's a truck.
Tony Burse had 90 yards rushing last week in the win over Winnipeg. And they'll give it back to him. And here he goes. Tell you what, Kelly Sims, is he nodding or is his head bobbing? Because Tony Burse just drilled him.
This football game has been unbelievable for the contact on the field. Listen to this hit. Oh, I tell you, there's been some unbelievable hitting going on. That was just a great football play.
And there's an injured BC Lion. It's Tyrone Chapman who was injured away from the play. 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We've hit the 3-minute warning as Chapman is receiving attention. I'll tell you what, there have been some major league hits given out today. 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Edmonton Eskimos are that far away from their 25th straight playoff berth.
Go ahead and twist it. Rock it, roll it. To resist it. Cheese stringers. King stringers. Press it. Swing it. No way you can beat it. Swirl it, whirl it. Come on and
Eat it. McCain Stringers. Real peelable cheese so good you gotta eat it.
Can't start the NHL season without TSN's NHL season preview. TSN's own hockey team previews the hot stuff happening in the NHL. Join Paul Romanuk, Gary Green, NHL Control's Gord Miller, and Bob McKenzie, plus hockey analyst Ryan Walter, and That's Hockey's Dave Hodge. The NHL season starts here with the NHL season preview, September 30th on TSN.
If the season ended today, these would be your playoff teams. Calgary and Toronto would have first round byes. Montreal would face Hamilton. Edmonton would face Winnipeg. Now, if the fourth place team in the West, right now BC, got more points than the third place team in the East, Hamilton, then the Western team would get in. But BC has just 4 games remaining and is 6 points back. Hamilton with 1 win can basically wrap up an Eastern playoff spot for someone, and likely themselves.
Tyrone Chapman wasn't hurt. He just needed more pumps in the shoe. He was a little shaken up. It looks like he shook it off and he could be back. 1st and 10 for Edmonton.
The Eskimos running the ball down the Lions' throats here. Eric Blunt with the carry. And across the 45 to the 44. Stay tuned following this game. NFL Primetime coming next on TSN. Let's bring in our primetime players from the studio in Toronto, and the playoff races get interesting in terms of the race for position. I think most guys, fellas, would concede first place in the East of the Toronto Argonauts. Is there anyone there who thinks that maybe Calgary can be caught in the West?
Definitely. I think the Edmonton Eskimos, with the victory this afternoon, if they hold on to win this football game, and it looks like they're going to, I think so, because Calgary, even though they've come up with a victory on Friday night, you kind of get the feeling that the Stamps are not the formidable team that they once were. And now the Edmonton Eskimos, if they get Danny McManus, the key is McManus. I think we'd all agree that it's McManus for the Edmonton Eskimos. If he's healthy, if he can play, look out.
I can't believe that he's getting on Danny McManus's bandwagon.
Yeah. Tell him, Les.
You gotta love Edmonton, Les. They're with you, win or tie.
That's right.
No, but the 18 interceptions earlier this season had a lot to do with the Edmonton Eskimos. Their defense won them a lot of football games early on. And I know the point has been made that he's coming to a new offense. But last year with BC, he had an opportunity to prove himself as a starter. That didn't work out. You must admit, at the beginning of the season, McManus did look somewhat shaky for the Edmonton Eskimos, but he's starting to find a home there.
Here it's 3rd and short for the Eskimos, who are gambling. 3rd and a yard. Willie Pless is in there for Edmonton. And flags come down. Ledbetter was trying that stutter count. Yes, it was Willie Pless who got the carry again. And it's that time of year when you start thinking about year-end awards.
Edmonton 56.
And Ed Kusi jumped offside, so Edmonton will not be able to gamble here. Who's the top defensive player in the league?
Gord, I can't answer that because the panel's going to jump me if I say another word. They want their airtime.
Go, guys, go.
Hey, Gord and Glenn, let me bounce something off you guys. There's no standout player in the West this year. I don't think. What if Darren Flutie, after the game he's had today, he emerges from the West and you've got a Flutie showdown?
Well, you know what, though? He'd have to have 1,000 yards receiving.
Well, he's closing in on it.
Yeah, he would. He's got three touchdowns, so they give him 6 on the year.
No.
I mean, Eddie Brown is their top receiver. So, yeah, it's interesting to see who would the outstanding player be in the West. I don't know. I mean, I say if the Calgary Stampeders finish first, and if they finish with a record of something like 14-4 or 13-5, why isn't Jeff Garcia the top player in the West?
Why isn't it a defensive back?
I hear ya.
Coleman has done more for Calgary almost as Jeff Garcia when his interceptions for touchdowns.
Now, Les, you know what? I started the fire earlier when I said no DB had ever been named as the top defensive player. And now I've created a monster.
Oh, yeah. Now, why not outstanding player? I'm with Les.
You know, Glenn, you're absolutely right.
And I agree with you fellas, too, because I think why not have a defensive player in a year where there really hasn't been an outright offensive player that's dominated the Western Conference. Look at Benny Goods. Every year he's in the top 5 in sacks, and he's a defensive tackle, the toughest position on the field to get a lot of sacks, and yet he does. He could be a candidate as well.
That's a good point.
Harper's kick taken by Davis down at the 13-yard line. Flag comes down.
You know what, though? Tell that to Tim Cofield.
I've got an argument with that. The toughest defensive position to play on that field is the secondary.
Oh, Les.
Well,
the offensive guys know where they're going to go. Defensive players have to follow it, and they have to be close enough to make that play. And to make an interception is much tougher than
And you know
a sack.
what? I'm glad your name was just put up on the screen, though, so everybody at home knows who made that comment.
Oh, for sure. And then they know that it's the correct comment from the correct person.
Now, it is interesting to note that I mean, maybe a defensive player should get his due, but look at this, guys. Who do you vote? Who's the defensive MVP in Edmonton? Is it Glenn Rogers Jr., who leads the league in interceptions? Is it Benny Goods, who's having the great year sack?
Melvin Hunter.
Or is it Melvin Hunter, sorry, or is it Willie Pless?
It's Benny Goods, in my opinion, because he's the guy that can make Melvin Hunter and Leroy Blue look so good coming from the outside. It's the guy that pushes the pocket up the middle that doesn't get the credit.
I would have to agree with Luke there. I hate to admit it, but I got to agree with him.
David Allen from his goal line is under pressure from the Edmonton defense. Bruce Dixon got in there along with the aforementioned Melvin Hunter. Just getting the Edmonton Eskimo nomination will be the toughest part of the awards process in the defensive player category.
Yeah, but Benny Goods, this is a defensive line led by Benny Goods that, they're on pace to break the CFL record for sacks. And Les Brown, I think, will agree with me. When you're getting pressure from your front 4, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to cover and play defensive back.
Allen's under pressure, and he is sacked. Willie Pless gets it done with 1.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, and don't forget about him.
Always
the awards are handed out.
Hey.
The 3-time CFL Defensive Player of the Year. Only Willie Pless and James Parker have won it along with Danny Kepley 3 times.
Well, this is a defensive line that's been so well disciplined. They prepare. The front 7 hang out together. They watch film together. Look at this. Melvin Hunter leads the way. The top 3 Edmonton Eskimos. Willie Pless not that far behind him. Speechless.
Wow. Gee, it took you're in your 2nd year. This is like our 18th game. It happened.
I'm speechless.
It happened.
This is an unbelievable.
Hey, Dave Ridgway in Regina. It happened. Luke Bisaglia kicks it away. A good high kick to the gizmo at the 40. Up and over he goes, and the game dominated by big hits. We get another one from Kelly Sims.
You get your fucking ass.
And yes, there's a debate going on down the sidelines. And intelligent debate it is, I might add.
Kelly Sims shook off the hit from Tony Burst, which was huge to have another big hit right there on Gizmo.
I'll tell you a funny story.
I have a hard hit.
There was a defensive back he used to play for Calgary, and I don't remember who it was. He said he was running by the bench in a game against Winnipeg, and a guy from Winnipeg kept going, "I'm going to kick your butt. I'm going to kick your butt." By the fourth quarter, the guy said, "Hey, if you ever get to the field, you're welcome to try." First down, Edmonton. They give it off to Eric Blunt. And he is tracked down quickly by Tyrone Chapman, who doesn't seem to be showing any ill effects of an earlier injury. We've got a change on our schedule here on TSA. Give me the pin.
No, I get the pin. No shot. Right here is the change.
You know what? You're turned into a baby.
No, I got it now.
4:30 Pacific time is the start time, 7:30 Eastern. The Lions are offering a deal there. If you take your ticket from the BC Lions game over to the Orca Bay offices, you'll get half price on a Vancouver Grizzlies NBA ticket. And if you take your Vancouver Canucks ticket from that night to the Lions game, you get your Lions ticket for half price. Cody Ledbetter on the fake. Is he throwing to the end zone? Yeah, he is. Don Blair almost made a circus catch. Covered by Maurice Kelly. Don Blair still doesn't have a CFL catch. Now, when's the last time a guy, a receiver, had his CFL touchdown before he had a CFL catch?
Don Blair looked great on that touchdown punt return against Winnipeg and showed great speed on the play. He was open initially. Ledbetter threw it a little bit behind him, and then the skid comes on for both Maurice Kelly and Don Blair, and both of them have to try and make the play from their backs.
So the Edmonton Eskimos will improve their record to 9-5. As I mentioned before, they will clinch their 25th straight playoff spot. The second longest streak in the league is 14 straight years by Winnipeg.
And the longest streak ever in sports history is by the Boston Bruins.
And it may end this year. You saw them in the preseason.
Yeah.
Sean Fleming tries the field goal and puts it through. Edmonton with a 32-12 lead now on the Lions. The other amazing stat for the Edmonton Eskimos, if they get another win after this, and I'm thinking they probably might, that'll be 11 straight years with 10 or more wins.
That's amazing when you think about that, and then add the fact that in the last 23 times to the West, they've been in the Western Final 19 out of the last 23 years.
There's great tradition here, and it's not a big secret. Calgary does it as well. I think Saskatchewan and Winnipeg have consistently competitive football teams. They don't have roster turnover. The Edmonton Eskimos have made one change from 2 weeks ago.
That's the key, no question about it.
Allen is back to throw, and the ball comes loose. Allen had his arm hooked, and it is picked up by Errol Martin. And this Edmonton defense puts a punctuation mark on this win.
Well, when you play against Damon Allen, you have to be perfect up front, because if there's one seam, he's gone. This Edmonton front four has been perfect. Damon Allen has been looking for openings to get away. He can't find any. Mike Sellers, who's had a great game on special teams for the Edmonton Eskimos, comes up and strips that ball out, and Errol Martin recovers it.
The BC Lions will drop to 4-10 on the season. Now the question, can the Lions still make the playoffs? An uphill battle. They find themselves 4 points behind the behind the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 6 points rather, Winnipeg winning last night. Cody Ledbetter will kill the clock. Here's the game story tonight. And the Eskimos scored first repeatedly. Danny McManus was injured in the second quarter, and they won't know until tomorrow his condition, but they'll keep a close eye on that. Darren Flutie, 3 touchdown catches on 159 yards, and the Eskimos have sacked BC quarterbacks 4 times.
And one thing that we didn't have in that game story that I think was a big factor was the special teams play of the Edmonton Eskimos. Mike Sellers blocked a punt early. Glenn Harper recovered his own punt early. They dominated in that phase of the game.
How about this kid, Cody Ledbetter, though? Ledbetter has appeared in 4 games for the Edmonton Eskimos, and they've won 3 of them. He's doing all right. The Eskimos win it by a score of 32-12, improve their record to 9-5, clinch a berth in the playoffs. And Joe Paopao greets his former players after an intense, hard-hitting game on the grass at Commonwealth Stadium. Time now for the Radically Canadian Players of the Game, brought to you by Corel. First of all, on defense. Well, no shortage of players to pick here, but we chose Willie Pless, who was a factor throughout the game, stuffing the BC running attack and getting in the face of the BC quarterbacks. And on offense, well, not much question, was there? 6 catches, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns. Darren Flutie, the Corel Radically Canadian Offensive Player of the Game. Edmonton with the win and a berth in the postseason. Back with more right after this.
Enjoy TSN extreme excitement from coast to coast this year. In the West, be on the lookout for high body temperatures in prime time Wednesday nights. In Central Canada, watch for intermittent periods of intense physical activity. And in the East, a local wacko warning is in effect Thursdays and Sundays. TSN Extreme, adventure, competition. Be on the lookout for high body temperatures in prime time Wednesday nights. In Central Canada, watch for intermittent periods of intense physical activity. And in the East, a wacko warning is in effect Thursdays and Sundays. TSN Extreme, adventure, competition, and pushing the envelope. See it here on TSN.
Just a quick programming note for you. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres are playing in Chavez Ravine. It's the final baseball game of this Major League season. The winner will claim the NL West Championship. They are currently scoreless, playing in extra innings. We will take you to that baseball game as soon as we wrap up here. Following the baseball game, it'll be NFL primetime. But let's talk about the Canadian Football League and the BC Lions specifically, who did not look good today. And it all started with Damon Allen. He was not strong out there.
Darren, you're right. I expected more offense from the Lions today. They didn't score a touchdown. Damon Allen, I think, took himself right out of the most outstanding player category in the Western Division, and the Lions pretty well took themselves out of the playoff race.
Well, you've been bouncing from one player to the next, and that player, I don't know who you're going to pick.
He's fickle.
You're very
There's
fickle.
nobody to pick.
Hey, I'll back Marty up. You got to call him like you see him. I mean, Damon Allen just did not play well in this football game
today.
today.
He did not have a good game at all, and I don't know if it was the game plan or what, but Damon is usually good with that Sally Rand play where he can get out there and he's got one-on-one against the defensive end, and we didn't see any of that today. And Damon didn't take off and run like the Damon Allen of all. I don't know if it was the wet field, the coldness got to him. You know, those guys are used to playing in that dome. I don't know what happened there.
You know what, Les? You know what I liked about this game, and it's easy to say a lot of good things about the Edmonton Eskimos the way they're playing right now, but you have to like a team late in the year. We're getting into October now that can win games with defense and can win games with special teams and have an offense that just doesn't beat themselves, and that's what they have right now. Essentially, they've had that all year, and I'm on their bandwagon.
Big time. And it's hard not to be, though. It really is. We'll take a short break. You're watching the CFL live on TSN. The Edmonton Eskimos victorious this afternoon, 6-1 now at Commonwealth Stadium.